I mean, that would be broken as fuck if you have to down parry the low shot and the high shot, like a high one.
That would be
Like,
fucking awesome. That's what I hope they do.
that's broken as fuck. Are you
Good.
serious? How are you gonna walk him down?
Good.
Are
Great.
you gonna jump?
I don't give a figure it out.
You can't do that.
That's
See,
your job,
you're
not
like the
mine.
worst. So you'll be the only character to just abuse fireballs with no repercussions there.
Good. Great.
That's so bad. I mean, you're gonna destroy Street Fighter.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Zaferino, and my fellow compadre, Mr. FChamp, Filipino champ, Ryan, as you guys know him as, one of those many aliases. We're excited. We got a lot of great topics today, as you can see in between us, as usual. All right, we'll be talking about some of the new versus games that have been announced in the past week since the last episode. We'll go into our season 3 impressions, talking about our initial experiences so far, winners and losers of the patch, thoughts on Elena, etc., etc. We're going to talk about CEO2025 and predictions going into the event. It is the first premier event of the CPT circuit that is going to have the season 3 patch instead of this season 2 patch horseshit that we saw with Evo Japan and Combo Breaker. Book of the week and Q&As. All right, so as always, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let people know we exist. Please follow my brethren, Mr. FChamp, over there on his platform, FChamp Ryan. You know what I'm saying? And let's get this show on the road, eh? Let's talk about the versus games. Right away. Right off of the bat. All right, let's talk about it. What are your thoughts of the recently announced versus games? We got 2 of them in the past week, right? It was 2 games.
Well, we actually announced recently, yes, 2, but I think we have 4 expecting this the next like 15 months. We're gonna have 4.
Oh my god.
So it's like we have like the Hunter x Hunter, the Nen Impact, whatever. So that's usually like a smaller game. So I'm not necessarily gonna I'm probably gonna play it for a day just to support, you know.
Right.
And then there's this the 2XKO, which is I'm definitely looking forward to. That's gonna be one of my main games, you know, for 2025.
Yep.
But like the biggest thing would be like the 2 newly announced games or the Incredibles versus right?
Invincible,
something like that.
Invincible.
That's exactly what it is. But like it looks like a star-studded kind of like developing company. You know, they used to work for like Killer Instinct or something. So when I saw it, I'm happy that there's a game that's gonna, you know, kind of like cater for those players that might like those. As so far, it's not really for me, I feel, but I'm definitely gonna play it for sure. But because like I think like, you know, all the bloody stuff is not for me.
Really?
For not like
somebody
that,
as sinister as you a little blood scares you.
It's never gonna be a mainstream game.
Oh, that's true. That's fair.
That's what I care about. Yeah. So it would not be a main game for me, or let alone, I don't think it can compete with the other main games. For instance, how is that gonna be able to compete with the 2XKO and Marvel Tokon, which is the newly announced one? It's the Marvel Tokon.
Oh, I can see the smile on your face, bro. You're looking like you've seen like a girl at school you had a crush on, bro.
That's just the greatest for sure. Like I'm so excited for that one. It's like it's gonna be my jam right there, you know. So like I'm so excited because that's a lot of championships that I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna win in 2XKO. I'm gonna win in Marvel Tokon, so it's gonna be fun. So I'm really, really looking forward to those 2 games. Yeah.
So you're gonna be juggling both? You're gonna juggle both of those?
I juggled 5 games before.
Damn, what 5 games?
I played Killer Instinct. I get in top 3, brother.
Holy
I'm
shit.
getting top 3 on that one. Okay, I got top 5 twice in Mortal Kombat 2, bro. So I did that. I played Cross Tekken. There's truly played SF4 and Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So there you go. 5 games. But I'm only saying I'm gonna play 3. Okay, I'm not saying I'm gonna play 5. That's why I'm like cutting it back. I'm only gonna do 3 games.
And what's the 3rd game? Street Fighter 6?
Yeah, of course. I'm never dropping Street Fighter 6.
Oh, okay.
I love Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is good. I love Street Fighter 6. I honestly really, really love Street Fighter 6 because it's the only fighting game that I played from all the previous games that I played in the past that actually lets you play the game. That you can play whenever you want. That code was amazing. You know, it's amazing.
Oh, true.
Compared to any other game. You can play the game. How many times have we all wanted to play SF4 before and we can't play it unless we go offline? How many times?
True. Oh, Killer Instinct though. Killer Instinct had good netcode.
Yeah, absolutely, but there wasn't a lot of players.
Okay.
Huge difference.
Even when you were playing, it wasn't a lot.
It was pretty good, but the online system is just like you just gotta get a match and that's it. Match this, match this. Doesn't have like all these interactions where like the overlays, the platform where like there's ranking, there's that. It's just like a constant battle of this and that, you know. So it wasn't as refined back then, you know.
Oh, okay.
Plus, Killer Instinct was my fourth game there, so it wasn't like something that I truly like put a lot of time. It's just like I just basically enter a tournament and then, you know. Oh, actually, I won a couple of tournaments with that one too. But like I'm saying, that one is just you played like I played Dalsim there, you know, which is Glacius. He's an ice Dalsim, so it's basically the same, you know. So that's really
that's pretty cool. I'm gonna look up your matches. I didn't know that.
I played that shit. So that's really fun.
Okay.
Rico Suave was the best there at that one point.
Shouts to Rico.
I think like playing Marvel. I think Marvel Tokon is just gonna be amazing. Just the fact that it's super pretty and if they made it more easier when it comes to for the onboarding a new player, because you don't have to use all 4 characters because it's a 4v4, right? So it's very intimidating to learn all 4. So what they did was it's only 1 life bar. That's why it's like Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. It's actually a soul that transfers to the next body. If you tag, it transfers to the next body to the next character. So whoever has the soul, quote unquote, is the main character that you're using. So you can basically just play 1 character with 3 assists, and it's okay. I don't think again the pro level should be like that, but in pro level you only need to play 2 characters in pro level. Then the other 2 would just full on support, you know. But I'm saying like to actually be like super high level, you need like all the characters. I feel, yeah. But it's gonna be super sick. Yeah.
4 characters sounds insane though. Like what the fuck?
You don't have to learn 4. You don't have to learn 4. You only need 2. It's not that important. Because the reason why it's important to learn them though, the argument would be like this. So let's say you call an assist character, right? Assist character comes in, shoots a Hadouken, for instance. The Hadouken, the assist character throws a beam or a Hadouken. That assist character now hangs out there and does a taunt after he throws a fireball, right? But then if you press that assist again, now the person that assist who threw a fireball, that becomes the main character now if you press it twice. Okay. So like imagine you're like, you're a point character, you're like Iron Man, you call in a Ryu comes in Hadouken. You see the situation that your main character is in a bad spot, but the guy that you called in the back is still in the Hadouken recoveries. Then you can press it again, and then you go there. That your soul goes to your boy in the back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So technically, with that interaction, you only need to have 1 of your characters that you can tag into that way. Anyways, the rest would just be like your medium kick would just be like when you press it, let's say a Doctor Doom comes in the sky just 1 time and then leaves. Your roundhouse kick is just gonna be like, let's say a Wolverine just dive kicking 1 time and then leaving. So you're just gonna look at that in a fighting game situation. That's like your roundhouse, that's your medium kick. You don't have to overthink that as like a brand new character for no reason. That's just like your medium kick and your 5HK, you know? That's how I look at versus games. That's why it doesn't matter how many characters I would learn, because I look at that as I'm playing 1 character with this is like, if I press this assist, it's that. If I press this is gonna be my roundhouse. This is my fierce. I just look at it like that. They're just like a hybrid of all these characters with, but essentially I'm playing 1 character in a sense. That's how I look at it. There's just like a 1 character. Regardless if it looks like I'm tagging, it's the same. That's just like, you just think about that's just a stance. Jamie, you get a drink, right? You get like new abilities. So that's just that version with a drink.
All right. Okay.
So I just simplified them things. Yeah.
So what was your initial reaction? Did you have an idea this was happening? Like how fucking shocked? Walk me through this.
About the Marvel Token, I did not have an idea. I was as surprised as anybody. Okay, but I have an idea about the Capcom versus game that I've been waiting on, because that one for sure was, they've been working on that one. But I thought that was that was it. But obviously it didn't. Now I'm actually worried that it might just be a CVS 3. Because if it's 3, I don't think I'm playing that. But I'm saying I'm playing it, but not maining it. Because it's too similar. It's too similar to a Street Fighter ground-based fighting game. So, and I don't think it will even take over as the main title for fighting games. Because the main title will always be Street Fighter. So
I
it's
agree.
like, I don't think it will ever take over that one. So it's like, if ever, I'm not even gonna fuck with that. Yeah.
And it's gonna be awkward too if there's 2 Marvel titles, right? Like, don't you think, like 2 Marvel tag fighters, but they're from 2 different companies and competing?
It might be good.
You think so?
That might be good. Because like, I think about it, 2XKO is not necessarily gonna be like FGC, like FGC ground. I mean ground roots, like kind of like, you know, fighting game, right? It's gonna be a little bit more corporate-ish, right? It's from Riot. They're gonna have their own shit. They're gonna have their own stuff, right? So it's quite different, right? So you know, I'm gonna go in that bitch. I'm gonna play in that one too, but I'm gonna play the other Marvel and play Street Fighter. But like, I think like it's okay that there's 2 of them, because they're not really, just because they're a versus game does not mean they will play similar. They're really gonna be, they're so different. Even the Marvel 2 to Marvel 3, they're so different. It's not even. It looks like, it doesn't seem like, it doesn't even feel like they're the same. They came from the same company. It's kind of like how Street Fighter 3 to 4 is so different. 4 to 5, way different. 5 to 6, way different, right? It's kind of like that. It's gonna be like those kind of games. They're just so unique in a sense. So, but eventually, I have to just like, you know, like take a couple, or maybe one serious, and the others we just coast around, you know, and just to be very knowledgeable with them. But yeah,
that makes sense. So if you have to choose between a Marvel Tokon and a 2XKO, and they're both,
I'm not choosing that yet, because I have 2 different time to play them. Because 2XKO comes out this year in like 3 months or so, right? Okay, but then the Marvel game will come out in 2026, so I have a whole year to figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like 2 different timelines in a sense. You know?
How lucky are you that you fucking have you love just Marvel characters? So there being no Capcom characters doesn't even bother you.
That's even the best, because I never fucking played the Capcom characters.
That shit is like, so ironic. I was like, what the fuck?
The Capcom characters, I have Street Fighter to play that. You know, if I want to play the Capcom characters, why the fuck would I do that in Marvel versus Capcom? This is Marvel, so I always play all the Marvel characters. Fuck the Street Fighter characters, because I always felt like that's like a little bit. There's a lot of cap in that one. There's no way a fucking Ryu, guy wearing no sandals or slippers, is gonna fucking fight Magneto. You understand what I'm saying?
You never know. He might have strong athlete's foot.
Not enough, but you know what I mean. It's kind of stupid to see that. Right. Like, how the fuck is like, you know, those kind of characters fight that? How does Chun-Li fight Hulk, brother? Seriously, really? You got Chun-Li fighting Hulk? How the fuck does Hulk fight Chun-Li, brother? Or Chun-Li fight Hulk, brother? Can you imagine that? It's not even realistic.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously that's not realistic. It's a game, but like, come on, bro. Imagine that. That's just so stupid. How the fuck does those characters fight like Storm, for instance, flying around throwing hailstorms, and then you're like Guile throwing sonic booms, brother, and you're a sergeant, colonel, whatever the fuck. Good luck with that. Yeah, so
Dan Hibiki versus Thanos.
Yeah, they should just get bullied, you know. Yeah, so I never really. Plus, also it played in my persona to be the villain kind of like thing. So I played villain Marvel characters instead. So I have a lot of options there already anyway, so it's okay.
What's your dream team if like your 4 favorite characters could be top tier? What would it be?
I think I always play my favorite character is Magneto. So I always play Magneto because he's like Akuma. He's always top tier in every game. So I'm playing him, right? Always. But then there's already Doctor Doom, so I'm playing Doctor Doom too. But then I want to play somebody like a little bit more like a badass kind of character, but I want a villain one. But so I don't necessarily have a. I mean, obviously you got to put Dormammu, right? But I don't think he makes it in, anyways.
You don't think so?
I don't think he makes it in. So, but I don't care. But like, I will play all of them though. It doesn't matter. But I guess that's what be my dream. I just want to see Magneto again, but you're guaranteed he's in the game anyways, because you can't have Storm, which should that mean, without having Wolverine or Magneto. That's like Ken and Ryu, you know?
Yeah,
like, true. Yeah, that's impossible, right? Right? Or Cyclops, they put Cyclops there, right? Those are guaranteed. If you have Storm already, you have those other characters. So it doesn't matter. So they're gonna make it in anyways.
Would you play Silver Surfer?
It depends on his voice. You know, if he's like a little bit more arrogant with his persona in the way they kind of like put him in a game, like very commanding kind of like aura, then I'm playing him. Yes.
Okay, that would be fire.
Yeah.
That would be fire.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of my favorite characters.
But if he's like little very nice, we're not playing him. If he's like very respectful like that as a character, that's not good. I would not want to play that.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit with your team.
Very good.
Your team is all a bunch of assholes.
Yes. So I always do that with like the teams that I play. You know, look at like MVCI, I played Ultron and Dormammu, right? Fucking a bunch of dickheads, you know. And then like in Marvel, I play fucking Magneto, Doctor Doom, you know, and obviously Dormammu, you know, and obviously I got Phoenix there, you know. It's like I play Sentinel too. But then like I want to do that, you know. I want to always play the bad guys. It's a pretty good persona. But then again, it's like I don't really do the persona anymore. You know, I don't do that anymore.
It could make a comeback.
I don't want to do that.
You don't want to?
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's like because like brother, did I tell you the story about when I was at Evo, and that's the last time you see me do the bad stuff or like the persona part when I had a meet and greet at Evo at a Geico booth, right? I had like 1 hour block only. But I end up taking 4 hour block because of the amount of meet and greets that I have to do. Okay? But the meet and greets that I have to do, they were not normal demographic people. They were like 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds. Do you understand that? And you know how much I love the next generation, the kids and stuff? If they see like, oh, gee, I saw FChamp fucking pop off and slap the fuck out of the headset of his opponent, that dude is going to start thinking that's normal. I don't want to do that. So that's why since that point on, I never did the crazier part. I went just me. I don't want to do that anymore. Because I thought that my demographic of audience was going to be like the Marvel heads, which is they're all assholes. So I thought that applies, but I did not know that I was, you know, there was kids watching that, you know. So that's why the last time you see me, they do the asshole shit, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about the last time because you still get your villain itch off by fucking shitting on me, but I mean,
that comes in a place of love, bro. Come on now.
Love. Yeah. Anyways, so Invincible though, I'm not gonna lie, the timing looks kind of whack, bro. It's gonna be coming out with all these other Elite versus games and fighting games gonna be out. It's gonna be like the redheaded stepchild, bro.
That's a fucking dead on arrival, brother.
DOA. I feel bad for those devs, but
I'll
man.
Play it for sure. I'll play it for sure because those devs works really hard on those games. So I'm definitely gonna play and support it too. But like, you know, but I'm not gonna main it if ever, you know.
Yeah, maybe like stream it and just.
Yeah, one day. It's kind of like that. I do that with every fighting game damn near. I'll play one day. Yeah. Out of support. Plus, I buy every fighting game too.
Have you done that with City of the Wolves?
No, I did the demo only.
That don't count. I want to see you play Billy Kane.
I don't want to do it because I told you already from the start.
Oh yeah, we talked about that
in my community. Don't play the fucking game, guys, because Xiaohua is just gonna win the whole thing. Okay, what happened? I was correct, brother. I told you all motherfuckers don't fuck around. Xiaohua is gonna win the whole thing. Xiaohua is gonna win all them things, brother. He does that every time, brother. So there's no reason to.
That was only one of your reasons. The other reason was because you remember what you told me. You was like, if you start losing, you're gonna get addicted.
Yes, that too. But like, I mean, that one I'm not gonna have that feel because I don't have the passion to play those kind of games. You know, so some people don't like versus games, but they like the 2D grounded games, right? Okay, well, I like both 2D and 2D and 3v3 kind of like fighting games, but I like the crazier versus games and the Street Fighter ground based games. But the thing is, the other 2D based kind of like ground based fighting games, I don't necessarily like a lot, except for like Street Fighter. But granted, I did play Mortal Kombat and fucking KI. But that one, I just never really played King of Fighters kind of games, you know? Yeah.
So question. Obviously, Capcom's not developing this Marvel Tokon, I don't know how to pronounce it.
They're not developing something, though. So
how do you feel about the fact that ArcSys is the one that's behind this project? Do you trust them?
Okay, first of all, it's like this. The way the game is, people should not really say like, okay, well, this is gonna be like play like Guilty Gear, because it wouldn't be, because the DBZ played like Guilty Gear. It played like exactly like a Marvel 3 they trying to copy, right? And that's made by them. And also the people who made Marvel 3 has been out of Capcom for so long. All the fucking OGs that makes those games, the good ones that we like, they've been out of Capcom. Right? And so they don't have a good team there that will make a versus game. So it also makes sense too that it may be like, obviously Capcom and Marvel had a falling out before already. So I don't know, maybe they still do, right? But then going to Arc System, I don't think that's a bad idea, because like at the end of the day, it's just a developing company. They're gonna put in their flavor to it. But based on the interview that he said, like, Cider, if they're not gonna do it right, might as well not do it at all. Fuck, I love that shit. And then they said like the level of production they have, dude, it was crazy. You can tell from the trailer alone, brother. They putting millies in this game.
Yeah, it looks
Millies of
so
production.
clean, man. It looks so
It's so
smooth,
nice.
and the hits and the it's so buttery, man.
Yeah, because I don't give a fuck who made them things.
Mm.
Okay, like that game plays like a Marvel game, but I'm never gonna expect to play like a Marvel 2 or a Marvel 3. Every Marvel game is different from the another.
That makes sense.
Everybody, so I don't hold on to the past things like that. That's why I never compared like the fighting games, like they say Street Fighter 4 to 5. Sure, they're like, I hate fucking 5. Fuck, man, doesn't play like SF4. No, I hate SF5 because SF5 is laggy as fuck, and I don't like this random factor crush counter.
Yeah.
I hate that part. Yeah, but I didn't hate it because of to compare to SF4, right? So SF6, when people were like hating on SF6 when it first came out, I was like, guys, this is by far the best fighting game we've ever had for the first season. So if you're comparing this to last season SF5, that's not fair. Compared to the first season of Street Fighter 4, first season of Street Fighter 5, this is not even a close battle, but it's not close. So I always look at a fighting game today. It's a different title for a reason, right? So there's no reason to hold on to the past, what you're used to. But I get it. People hate change.
Yeah, that's true. But I like that they added the little like flair to it, because you know how like Guilty Gear has those epic cinematic angles and stuff like that. I do like that you can see kind of their DNA in the Marvel game. Like you can, it does look.
They copied that from Marvel 3. Marvel 1 did that already. Marvel vs. Capcom 1 used to do that. If you hit them, boom, they go to the other's next wall and shit, and then they break the wall, and then that's a brand new stage.
No, not that part. I'm talking about like, remember when Guilty Gear Xrd first came out, and they had like the fucking camera went around Kai, and that's what I'm talking about. Like that's so cool, because it is like it feels like when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is definitely an Arxis game, but it still maintains that Marvel feel in its own unique way, which is pretty dope. So that's why I'm excited for it. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Super jumps, air dash, super jump, air dash. You know what I mean? Normal jump offense, multiple assist calling, alpha counters. Everything that Marvel had, they put it there. And then on top of that, they have this thing called like alpha counter, which is like, you're getting pressured. It's kind of like you do a drive reversal, right? But then when you do a drive reversal, your partner will come in and save the day. And that's like a classic like Marvel mechanic, to have your partner help you. Yeah, while you're getting oppressed. So the fact that they added it there, and it was like in the second scene to show that, plus the blog post had, and we will take players for a ride, which is like hence to the street to Marvel, like a take for a ride, Yeah, so you can tell, like, yeah. So I'm really, really excited.
Oh, you read that post, huh? You read all of it, the blog post?
Of course.
Oh, you didn't read the fucking really. Street Fighter patch notes, you fucking.
Only the specific ones. I don't want to read the Street Fighter patch because you'd be reading the lore, brother. I don't give a fuck about the lore, where they got the water from.
Oh, so you selective with what you want to read?
Yes, the shit that's important. Okay, what did you reading the patch notes lore, the stupid reasoning? What did that do for you right now? Did anything?
I'll tell you what it did. It made sense of some of the changes we did not understand. And then when I went and read the changes, I was like, oh.
You probably didn't understand.
No, motherfucker, you didn't understand it. I got the footage of you not understanding some of that shit.
No, what changed?
I gotta go back into the video and find it.
So what changed? What changed?
There were some changes in there that didn't make sense to either of us.
Because of their writing.
Yeah, because the way they wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
like I have to kind of like sit back and be like, oh wait, they said like there's a specific hitbox now when you do the Yoga Flame, canceled into Yoga Flame. I said, what the fuck is that for? And then I realized, wait, if you cancel it now, it looks like it comes in hit, like you can now level 3 from it, and it would not necessarily whiff anymore because of that special hitbox. Why don't you just put like increase the range of the SA3 when canceling from a Yoga Flame? Would that not be easier?
Because they know people like you read it, bro. That's what they do. They like fucking with you. I don't blame them.
Idiot.
I'm glad they did that. Just for you. Anyways, nice segue. So let's talk about the best news in the past week. The best news is Street Fighter 6 Season 3 finally fucking arrived. We're finally here. A brand new season, guys. Now let's talk about it. Champ, let us begin with Elena. We'll talk about Elena and then we'll get into the general aspects of the engine. But what are your initial impressions of Elena?
Okay, do you play Elena? Have you played her?
I have only tried her in training mode, and I fought against her a couple of sets.
I played some Elena for sure. I was on my day 3 Elena when I streamed like 2 days ago. I was a bit struggling to understand her, but then I finally understood. And then I got my like 1850 MR, but then I was gonna try to go to for 2K like the very next day, but then I didn't really stream. But like I think that the character is far from being weak. She's not weak, she's just harder to play for the most part. And I love that they kept it true with her archetype because, like, if you notice Elena, her walk speed forward, right, is slower than her walk speed backwards. That's why you end up whiffing more when you fight her.
Wait, what?
I don't know if you're real.
There's no way that's real.
Brother, turn on the game right now and let me know.
Nah, wait, hold on. I gotta see her walk speed. There's no way. Oh, you're bugging. Her forward walk speed is 0.048. Her back walk speed is 0.033.
No. Look at play the game. Turn on the game right now, please.
Bro.
No, please, just try it.
It's probably, you know what it is? It's probably the animation. It looks like that.
Just try it. It could be the same speed, but motherfucker, the bitch is fast as fuck. Just try it, please.
Okay, I can see why it feels like this. I understand.
Yes, that's all that matters.
But it's definitely not faster though. But I can see why you say that because the way her body moves. No, it's not faster.
No, but is it not fast though?
No, it's fast, but it's definitely not faster.
Did you whiff a lot versus Elena?
I was definitely whiffing against that horror. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So does she have the fastest walk back speed in the game?
I can find that out. Actually, I don't know the Let's find out. I can tell you that right now.
Like, characters like that. Who has fast walk speed? It's like Kimberly, Akuma.
Oh
Chun-Li,
wow,
right?
Akuma. Here it is. Akuma, Chun, Jamie, Mai at 0.035. If you don't count Kimberly after level 3.
yeah.
Kimberly after level 3 is the fastest, 0.0366. If you count level 3. Kimberly without level 3 install is 0.033. Cammy and Elena also 0.033.
So Akuma still has a faster walk speed walking back.
Yep. Even with the nerfs.
It doesn't feel like this. It doesn't feel like it, you know? It's so weird.
But it's like by the hundredths, bro. That's probably why it's so small, you know? But yeah, I mean, I can see this shit is definitely gliding.
Thank you. Yeah, that's just crazy, bro. Yeah, but anyways, with Elena in general, she I think that she has a lot of potential. I'm sure a lot of whoever mains her, I think they're gonna do very well. Like once one of those kind of like the Hikaru bust out some Aki, you know what I mean? Like somebody, an actual true specialist mains her, I think she can be a problem, you know? I do think she has some bad matchups though. Like I don't know how you beat Dawson with her. Like the bitch has no jump, brother.
Why is it just too floaty?
Yeah, I mean the jump is like I would say look, when you fight I don't know how she fights Dawson. I just don't know how you can fight Dawson with that one. Like pro Dawson versus a pro Elena, there's no shot, bro. I think. But anyways, I think Elena was a good design overall. She's not a 2MK DRC kind of character.
Right.
I think the way they designed her, it felt like she's truly a season 3 character, you know? Stuck in a season 2 meta. Right. So I'm really, if that's like a tell, maybe the future characters that we're gonna have might be more unique and less I think if that's the case with her and that's the design of her, then I can see maybe what if Viper has unique kind of design as well. I mean, of course she's gonna have a unique design, but how unique, you know? Because Elena is super unique, you know, from the most part.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm really happy about how Elena plays out. I think I'm gonna play her more, the more and more, just to maybe I'll play maybe later. I just want to play a little bit more Elena. I want to just learn her more, you know, until I get more comfortable. Then I'll move on from her once I get my 2K-ish.
I like what you said though about how she could be kind of like a omen or a foreshadow to what the later DLC characters can look like, because the fact she has no crouch immediate kick DRC and her throw loop is only has to involve a drive rush, right? She has to drive rush for it, I think. Brother,
that shit is so hard to do consistently. It's perfect frame.
Wow.
It's so rough to do too. But that's good. You know, that's good. And then if you mess it up, you get hit so hard too. But it's okay. Like she doesn't even need it. And then her mid-screen mix-ups are not that good because her Oki in mid-screen is not that good, but her corner is really good because she's very controlling. And I think her normals are really awesome, except for a few, like the standing medium punch gets ducked a lot. You know, the second hit, if ever. I think like also her weakness obviously is like when people playing the ground game and they're ducking a lot against her. So like the 2 MP, like the end tip of it doesn't hit you as much because of how angled. Plus also the 5 HP would not hit you if you're crouching in those spots, right? You know, so because like there's no point of like, but I think like her design is good. You know, her design is. She has a lot of things that she can do to kind of like win in a matchup, you know, in a sense. But I think like there's like a lot of matchups that's hard though. Like so far, I think like she loses to like Terry. She fights the shoulders pretty well though. I don't think she fights Terry well. And then she loses to like I think like Jury maybe, and then like Dawson for sure. She 100% loses to Guile. Once the Guile players know the matchup for sure. Yeah, it's like so far, you know. But other matchups I think is very very winnable though.
So in the corner, is she high low heavy? Like does she have like a like more uniqueness in regards of pressure because of that?
Yeah, so I think well her pressure is primarily like she pokes you with a high, so you end up standing a lot right in certain ranges, and then she hits you with like a 2 MK here and there with that's like a hit confirmable target combo or 2 MK. And then you can cancel the target combo into the DRC. But then the thing is you have to confirm if it's like a crouching hit or a standing hit. Because if it's a crouching hit, the second hit would whiff.
Right, like it just did. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a high ceiling in that one at least. So yeah. But then she's just playing neutral and whiff punish you and then hits you and then corner carries you basically and with no throw loop. Yeah, basically like that. That's how she plays. And then her whiff punishing is so crazy because it does hella damage. If she hits, if she whiff punishes you with a 5 HP, brother, holy lord, that's like a 4, maybe like 36, 37%.
Oh damn.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So that combined with her movement, it's gonna entice people to want to press buttons because she's just constantly in and out, and then she's not there because she had a good walk speed in general.
Yeah, she's just an extreme. She's an extreme archetype. So like, she's gonna have some good matchups. She's gonna have quite a few bad matchups, right? That's about it. Extreme archetype of something, you know. So,
how do you think she does against Akuma?
Huh? Akuma? I don't know exactly, but I don't think she loses.
Okay.
I feel. I'm not sure. But like from what you know, so obviously I don't have that much experience playing her, but with the little amount of experience I have, I think she does well versus Shotos. You know?
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I do plan on trying to give her a spin. I haven't really watched too much of her. I mean, I've watched more than played against her. She does look promising. Nothing like game breaking though. You know, it seems like she was a very tame release. Like maybe they're gonna give her gradual strength increases and buffs over time because they don't maybe want to power creep like they have in the past previous games. So it seems like they're doing a better job about that. You don't see any like Yuns coming into the game and just fucking destroying people, right? Like I guess Akuma and Bison were like the closest things to that in this game.
Akuma Bison in what terms? What are you saying?
Like in terms of like DLC characters getting launched and they just are straight top tier.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. Well, Rashid was.
But Rashid he wasn't right off rip though, right? He had to get like developed. But Bison and Akuma, it was like obvious right off rip.
No, Rashid was released July, right?
Yeah.
Then like 9 days before Evo. After that one, Evo was obviously August. September, which is the Singapore CPT. I mean, Gachikin won, brother. It took a couple of months. Come on, I think that's fair. When Gachikin dropped Manon to switch to Rashid, and then he won the tournament.
That was October, but I'll give you that. 3 months.
Yeah, September, October. Yes. But you see, that's really good.
Yeah, but that's still not as fast. Bro, Bison and Akuma, it was like right.
It's just not easy to play, but that's not mean they're not top tier though.
No. I'm just saying like right off rip, you could tell like Rashid was like, okay, he might be top tier. You know, level 2 is pretty broken.
It was not a might. It was never a might there, brother. It was for sure he was top tier. Come on, he never even changed that time, bro.
I don't think it was as obvious as Akuma and Bison, bro. Akuma and Bison were fucking.
I agree. I agree. It was never gonna be obvious because the character needs to be played by a specialist.
Right.
Okay. Mai is the one. Mai, Bison, and Akuma. Those three. Ed is the same as Rashid. It had to be, it has to be like a specialist. Fulfill the character.
I agree. Okay? I agree. So maybe Elena could end up being like that, but I don't really see it yet. You know, because I don't think like her. If there was gonna be something that would put her over the top, like long term, right? As soon as she got released, and we look at her and go, "Damn, this bitch is gonna be broken," it would be healing. But healing is not. I think healing is is underwhelming.
Healing is what. You know what sucks about that too? It doesn't really heal like that. The drive gauge. You don't recover any drive gauge during that whole animation when you do the healing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Wow. That's surprising.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still need experience to play some Elena, you know. So I'm gonna try to play her later so I can see more. Yeah, it's like I'm not as experienced with her like that.
Okay. All right. So then, now let's talk about the general stuff with the game, because I know we were kind of hoping for like a big change because the meta's basically been the same since the beta. The game hasn't really felt that different, to be honest.
Oh, that's so true.
And so we've been playing the same game for damn near like 3 years, if we're gonna be honest. And so what are your initial thoughts about the patch? Was it overwhelming, underwhelming, sweet spot right in the middle?
It was. I mean, obviously we're all disappointed the fact that it didn't feel like a season 3. It really feels like a season 2.5 patch, you know? Like you know, you remember the season 2.5, like the season 3.5, you know, the 0.5 patches that we used to have in SF5. You know, this is exactly how it feels to me. Like, you know, it would just be minor changes. This is a definition of like a minor change, despite a huge change log. The feel of the game feels like a minor change, and then, but I'm still hopeful because you remember when they did the Ed thing and then the Akuma, then when they released Bison, there was like a baby patch that came along with it, you know? Kind of like that little thing, some changes. So I'm thinking since they announced the characters already, that when they release like the first character, I think that one would be the it's gonna come with a patch, right? So I'm hopeful, you know, I can't confirm it, but like I'm saying, I'm hopeful that it should. But yeah. And when is that gonna come out? You know, I think summer, so obviously maybe like August, maybe next month we have Sagat already, right? That would be good, you know. Right. So I am not sure, you know. So I'm just hopeful, but like I think like imagine like every single complaint has been like about the throw looping thing aspect of the game, right? Everybody hates it, you know. But like I don't really mind. I don't care whatever it is. But I'm just like, I don't care whatever they do to the game. I'm gonna support it. I just feel like I was expecting to play something a little bit more different because I feel like the meta is really same, but you're just getting less perfect parries. But then that's about it.
Yeah, it feels very conservative. Like they were being really safe, you know. Like, and I like how you said it's like this is kind of like a 0.5 patch because honestly, I'm thinking of the season. What was it? The season 1.5 patch, or was it 2? Remember they had that like patch where they gave Jamie the drink, the throw drink. Yeah, like that patch felt like this patch. It was like I don't know. It just felt like not much. It was like some characters got big things, but the game felt the same. And that's what this game. This feels like. Like there's a lot less perfect parries, which is cool because the pacing in the game feels better. And then when you do see a perfect parry, it's not like a fucking snooze fest now. Now it's like, oh shit, okay. Actually, you are kind of on your shit there, right? So now it feels a lot better when I do get perfect parried. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's kind of funny. I was playing somebody and they were streaming and they were like, "Nah, there's no way Zaf is the only person perfect parrying. What the fuck? Like nobody else is fucking doing this shit. How the fuck is he still perfect parrying?" And then I was like, to be honest, like before when I was doing perfect parries, I was always mindful of the button that was being pressed because the button helped me with the timing. So when the change happened with standing or crouching, whatever, it didn't really change anything because I already am aware of what button you're pressing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing it changes is the -3 situations where it's like your turn, my turn. But like in terms of like the footsies or like those turn shifts that happen there.
You want to steal?
I was already very mindful of it. That's why I could get some like some extreme fucking perfect parries because I was already paying attention to that type of shit. You know?
That's huge. That's huge.
But anyways, so aside from that, I do think the patch like it feels the same. It feels better, but it feels the same, which is kind of fucking weird.
Definitely better, but it just feels so similar from the previous one.
Right.
Sure, there's gonna be a few characters that took a hit, if ever. But then there's like a few characters that got better as well. But in the same time, the overall feel of the game you know, as a whole, it just feels similar, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was like, have you explored the sweep changes where sweep just wins more now?
No, I haven't looked at the hitboxes of it yet, but it is
When
weird
you're
that when I
Jamie
hit
player, you
people,
don't match sweep. You don't match sweep as a Jamie player because every Jamie player, brother, that their jab
I don't
is
really.
sweep.
I used to when I could space it out, but you can't space it out like that anymore.
Oh yeah, they nerfed
They
it
nerfed it
right
like 3
before.
times,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, that's right.
Remember,
Yeah,
it used to
makes
be
sense.
a low, so you had to block both low. Then they made it
Yeah.
low mid, right? And then they reduced the pushback. Then they added more negative frames, and I was like, bruh, oh my god, so annoying. But yeah, I haven't looked at the hitbox changes for it yet, but I've heard that it's like you're gonna win more interactions because of it, so that's pretty cool. I haven't investigated that part yet. And
I haven't messed with it yet.
but what's really weird, bro, is hitting somebody counter hit and not getting a hard knockdown. That part is fucking me up.
I mean, that's the nerf that they put in the
Right.
sweep because they made the sweep significantly better. Yeah.
That's the
thing
part
is,
that's
like,
messing me up.
I mean, the thing is, like, you don't really get to use sweep. That means, like, you're supposed to use sweep as a whip punish anyways. So you don't need that extra hurt box, hit box buff.
Right.
Anyways.
What was the point of it?
Right. Yeah, what's the point of it, right? So that means, like, whoever's want to throw out some sweeps there, here and there, yeah, okay, cool. Then I guess they can hit more because there's more risk to it, you know?
Yeah.
So that I can kind of see the logic there, you know?
Yeah, I think the nerf honestly was solely because of side switch in the corner. I think that was the only reason why they did that. I think that's the only reason, bro.
Yeah, that's good. That makes more sense. Yeah, because when they get the lucky counter hit sweep, you know, they can kind of jump out, right? And then it's like they're plus 48 or something.
Right.
Plus 40. Yeah.
Something crazy like that. I think that's the only reason why they did that. So it's like
that makes more sense.
So that buff was kind of like here's a Scooby snack. I don't know, whatever, you know. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
You know, this gives you like different perspective, and like regardless how many small changes they did, you know, especially this patch, right? They had so many small changes, and you would think like that would affect the game so much, but it didn't really, right? So that means like, but then if you actually change something that's meaningful, even though it's just one change, fuck man, the effect on that and the entire meta is gonna be crazy. Like for instance, if we had one change there, it says, if you hit the drive reversal, the drive rush, right, is a punish counter state now. If you check it, like that change, that one liner that they would put in the patch notes will be so fucking insane. Difference. Like that would be like such a huge difference in the meta, you know. So that's like gonna be insane. Imagine you check the drive rush with a sweep, you know, randomly. You do that, pow, that fucker lost an entire bar drive gauge and a hard knockdown too. That's just nasty, you know.
Then I wouldn't mind the counter hit change, because then it's like you have more opportunities of getting sweep punish counter without relying on whiffing, which you know, I think that would make sense. Maybe that'll happen down the line. The changes are weird on a system level too, because it's like the reason it seemed for them not getting rid of throw loops was because parry was so strong, but then they nerfed parry and kept throw loops.
Yeah, so it's like they love throw loops more than parry because they seem like that's more exciting to them. Yeah, but you know what? This is what I got here. Also in the patch, it reminds me a lot of SF5, where you know how like season 3 they nerfed throw loops for a few characters, but then the other 70% of the cast still has throw loop, right? And then season 4 they nerf some characters throw loop, but then the others still has it. And then towards the end, only a few left that's not as aggressive characters has throw loop, but then the others they have pseudo throw loop, which is like, you know, it's either you do meaty, or you can walk up a little bit, like 2 more micro walk, you know, frames, or you know, to grab, right? You know, kind of like a Chun-Li. So like that became kind of like the meta. But like in this game, I feel like that's the kind of like direction they're going to as well. Like, you know, like some characters got nerfed, like they say Rashid, or Ed, you know. I mean, Ken didn't really. I guess Ken got nerfed with the throw loop part of it because it's like 1 frame timing. Yeah. But it's still like it's hard to kind of contest that with a button. You feel me? Because you're in the 5 HP range, so it's not like you're gonna. Yeah, it's quite scary, you know. It's really fucked. And then like but it's like, especially now, if you're getting oppressed there in the corner, there's no perfect parry gonna save your ass too. Like no such thing gonna save your ass in that bitch. Right. But then I thought that though, until I start being mindful that most of the stuff that's being thrown at you when you're getting pressured to fuck up are all mids. So I was thinking like to people like, bro, when you're doing a perfect parry, tap parry, just do back and parry. Right. Seriously, how many lows compared to how many mids are being thrown? It's easily 90-10.
Easily. That's why they buffed the lows, because they knew like, oh, we have to incentivize people to try to go for shorts.
Yeah. There's no reason. There's no reason to ever like do a down back parry unless it's like you have a fucking read about it, you know? Yeah. So if you're because before, right, you know, like have you know the experience when you do a down back parry tap and then you get hit by the random overhead, it would just punish counter,
Yeah.
right? You know, when you do tap. Okay. Nowadays, that should never happen. What should happen is like you do a tap parry, you release it, for some reason it didn't hold it to do a drive rush, you get hit low and that will be a punish counter.
Right.
That
Sweep.
should happen more. Yeah, because you should be okay to take that instead, you know, with the other one. Yeah, because that. So I guess eventually we gotta go back to the perfect parry rate that we used to have. Instead of a 10 out of 10, it will be a 9 out of 10 eventually,
Right.
like before. Yeah, because right now it's still a 6 out of 10 so far for the experience, the community, you know. But
Right.
eventually it's gonna be like that.
You know the you know how like we have the imperfect parry thing.
Yeah.
So you know I was thinking, I had this epiphany that it's if you have really low drive gauge, you should always imperfect parry supers, so that way you could get your drive gauge back and it doesn't scale on the punish. I did that.
Okay.
I did that against somebody, and I was like,
But aren't you supposed to parry that anyways if there's a super that whiff?
no. But I'm saying
gonna whiff.
if you have like a really low where you can't, if you block it, you get burnt out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're always gonna parry there.
No, but I'm saying you imperfect parry it, because that way you don't get burnt out. You get your drive gauge back, and then you get a drive
the
gauge
exact one when you have like no drive.
Yeah,
gauge,
you like when you're
imperfect parry it purposely.
on purpose. Yeah.
Wait, are the supers though? You cannot imperfect parry it though, right? Because they're both lows and mid.
No,
It's
they're
kinda
mids.
Like how some specials.
Because I did it to Ryu's level 2, and it imperfect parries it.
Oh, level 2. Okay, how about the fireball supers? Are they all the same as a fireball? You could parry with down, back, and back.
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't test. I only tested it with attacks, like actual hits.
Physical, yeah, because the projectiles are the same, right? Down, back, and back, right? Except for JP.
Right. Oh yeah.
I guess like Terry's H fireball is low, so I guess that's different too. But like,
oh yeah, true.
It's like that's the first thing I checked, because I checked the Honda change, like the headbutt, you have to block, you have to parry it with back. You know, you can't do the down back. You know, even the butt slams, right? So like, I was like, damn, JP's the best. So I went straight to JP and I checked out his medium ghost and then the low ghost. I was like, oh my god, it's both the same. You can parry it with both low and high.
Oh shit! Wow.
That would be so broken though. If that was like that, if it was like a true high low, so it don't matter, you know, that's just crazy.
Yeah, that would be
they
obnoxious.
Thought about that. I'm glad they thought about that, you know. But see, that means they have exceptions to the rule.
Yeah,
that's an exception.
And I'm gonna bring that up later when we talk about a certain DLC character, because that might end up being. We'll get to that when we get to the DLC part. But before we get to that, let's talk about the winners and the losers.
No. First of all, wait a minute. That shouldn't affect your baby, Sagat, because that's all mids. When you're parry, you're standing up anyways.
No. Well, I have an idea.
Okay.
We'll talk about when we get there. We'll get there. Okay. All right. So, champ, I think the character changes probably have a lot more of a ripple effect than the engine changes, right? Because drive rush didn't really change. Perfect parry got nerfed. Drive reversal is still the same. What else? DI is the same, right? So like most of the changes that are really going to determine anything are going to be character based. So based off what we know so far, who do you feel like are the winners and the losers of this patch?
I mean, like, I guess like Ryu got the most buffs, right? So apparently Chun-Li is really, really strong. Also, but I'm not sure where to put it in a tier list yet, you know, because like obviously there's not a lot of Chun-Li's that I know of. Unless if I were back in Asia, then I would know. But like I think like the winners of the patch, obviously like Jamie did really well. I think Dawson did pretty decently okay. Chun-Li did good, but then obviously Ryu won the lottery. And
True.
I think like even like I also like characters that were changed as much also won, because like let's say for instance like I think like Guile won in a way just because of the fact that the other characters that you could potentially be dealing with got nerfed a little bit, you know, in a way. I think like, but when it comes to the like, I don't think Mai got nerfed that hard because she's still so good still, you know. I think like those are the characters, but like when it comes to the tier list, I don't think it changed as much. So anyway, so it's like same shit. You know?
So you still think
Honda
Akuma, Bison are like at the top?
I think they're still like Akuma for sure the top. I think Bison is there too in the top 5-ish, 6-ish in the game, you know, with Rashid. And then maybe like Ryu you could put there. But then, you know, when I watched Tokido's like video yesterday on his YouTube, right? He's talking about the game, etc. And he said like he's been considering playing Chun-Li for a while now. So he's been playing a lot of Chun-Li, and he got Chun-Li to legend rank already. And he's like he wants to switch it because Chun-Li is really strong. And then he said like he thinks Dawson is strong in this patch as well. Of course, his friends and stuff, you know. And then I was like, but he's like he just doesn't, but he doesn't want to play Dawson because it's very hard. And then he also said something about maybe he'll try Zangief too and JP so he can like play those characters, But like he said like he felt so lucky playing Ken for so long because like he felt like Ken was like so versatile so that when he plays other characters, they're not as versatile as Ken, So it's like yeah. He thinks like Ken is pretty okay though. Like still like it's not like that, It's just like he said like the fighting the Cammy and Chun-Li can be tough now. Those two matchups he highlighted, in general.
Yeah.
But he said like Dawson is pretty strong. He said I don't know what that means, but I know Dawson is pretty good in this patch. I don't know top tier good, maybe high tier decent, But yeah, but he doesn't think that Ryu is better than Chun-Li or Ken still. But that's his opinion, right?
True.
That's crazy to think like, but that's those guys because like, and also he gave a story about Mago playing Ryu, and Mago said he's struggling playing Ryu because like the fact that they're gonna play a certain matchups where he has to kind of like take like extra because like Ryu shines with the damage, right?
True.
And that means they kind of have to take a little bit of risk somewhere there, and then like play like a little bit more guerrilla style here and there, And that's something that's a weird style to play in Japan, right? You know what I mean? Like
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. So, but they don't think like they know Ryu is strong, but not like top 5 strong. That's for their take. I mean, I think Ryu is like top 5. I think so. But yeah,
that makes sense. They're basing it off of like their biases, like because they're more risk averse than the other regions. And like you said, his damage is gonna favor interacting.
Yeah.
And pushing pace, right? So
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how Blaz is doing so well. If you watch how Blaz is putting so much pressure on you.
That dude plays clean as fuck though. But
no,
like,
he does. But he's putting he doesn't shy away from putting pressure on his opponent. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. It's really good. Yeah.
And so like
I think like I think that the Ryu stuff. I think like he's always gonna be strong. Plus, his strategy is way easier to use in a tournament. In the first 2, that motherfucker will random you the fuck out, dude. Brother, holy shit. Imagine a fucking 5 HP DRC combo or a random loose hit, whatever the fuck you're done.
And he could play so clean too. He could play so clean.
He can play clean, yes, he can. That's just crazy. Mago's been playing Ryu, to keep doing it. Yeah.
So is he trying to cover Jerry's bad matchups?
I mean, no, Mago was the very first pro that I know there in Asia. Even before season 2, at the start of season 2, like around February-ish, whatever the hell, like whatever, he switched to Ryu to play a lot of Ryu, and he got Ryu to legend rank before, and then he dropped Ryu because he needs to focus on Street Fighter League, so he played Jury again. But now Ryu's good, so he picked Ryu back up, So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad investment. This character keeps getting like 5 pages worth of buffs every patch.
I mean, he's been getting buffs since like what? Since SF5.
Yeah, literally. I don't know a single nerf that character's ever received, bro. Besides Dawson being in the game.
I think they may be buffing Ryu because imagine the Dawson versus Ryu matchup is not even that easy for Dawson because of the damage output and the fucking donkey kick nonsense.
Right.
The mashing sweeps, like brother, you're just dead. Plus now with the fucking SA1 that he got going with the Denjin, brother.
Yeah.
I cannot throw a fireball, by the way. If you throw a fireball, that super on reaction, you have more time too because Dawson's recovery and fireballs is longer than any other character. So he gets smoked by the level 1, the beam. He has a fucking Iron Man super, brother. Like, that shit's crazy. If there's a matchup that actually matters, is that matchup in the JP matchup, right? For Ryu, if there's a matchup in the game that super buff matters a lot, is gonna be versus JP and Dawson. That's why that matchup, like, I don't even know. Maybe what if like fucking Ryu might actually have a slight advantage if that, I don't know. But like, I don't for sure. I'm telling you guys the truth. Like before, that's just free matchup. But now with all the buffs that Ryu got for like the last year, brother, it's not gonna be like that anymore.
Even with Dawson getting consistently patched too, it looks like it's like overwhelming in comparison. Dawson gets like some like little bits of love here and there, and then Ryu's getting like a whole birthday cake, toys, Christmas.
Maybe the reason why they have that is because his daddy Sagat is coming, and Sagat owns the fuck out of Ryu. He fucking owns it.
You gotta
Like,
give him
I'm
a
talking
chance.
about like archetype wise, guys. That matchup is for Ryu, brother. Like that dude Ryu, bro, he cannot keep up with Mr. Sagat, brother. Like he cannot compete in any area of the. Usually in any game you play, Sagat versus Ryu, brother, just stop, just stop, just stop, just go home. It's bad. It's all bad for the fucking Ryu guy. Sagat versus Ryu.
I can't wait, bro.
High shot, low shot, high shot, low shot, high shot. And then you jump there, you think you're cute, dead. So like Sagat for sure cooks Ryu.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But before we get to that,
Mm-hmm.
who are your 3 losers? If you could name losers of the patch, it could not be Nick nerfs. It could just be like maybe they didn't get enough love, and you're like, damn, they're still behind, or things like that.
I mean, Honda, my dude right there, needed some love a little bit, but then obviously with the way the patch worked, I think Ed is definitely a loser in this patch for sure. I think that's it. Everybody is good.
Ed and Honda? Okay. What about
I think it's Ed and Honda.
what about Ken? You don't think Ken's
Just to ever say, if you ever hear the word Ken and loser in a patch, right, like that, it just doesn't make sense to say that. Ken just always wins, brother.
I can make it make sense. You have to put a is not between those 2 words.
No. I mean, first of all, I think he got nerfed a little bit, but it doesn't mean. I mean, from Tokido said like he is still strong. It's just like he will struggle against Cammy's and or Chun-Li's more, right? So I don't think he became low tier all of a sudden, right?
Nah, of course not. Of course not.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think he's like Honda tier, right? I don't think so.
I think the throw loop nerf is pretty good though. I like it for fighting against him for sure.
There, yeah. But now, what if he does like? If he can still grab you though, but like, what if he starts piercing your ass? That hits on the 3rd frame instead, so you can't wake up parry that, unless you did delay parry, right?
And he got the buff from level 2. Now his level 2 he could use it for like those -7 punishes. Yeah. Yeah. It's a 7 frame super, right? Or is it an 8 frame? I don't remember. It's one of the 2.
I'm not sure, but it's fast.
It's just fast as fuck.
I think is it 5?
Nah, 5 is Ryu's level 3.
I'm not sure exactly.
But it's pretty fast though. Because he could punish like a lot of shit, like DJ Sabat kick.
No, I think that's 5, brother. I feel maybe.
Is it 5? Let me check.
I think it's 5. Let me see. I think that's 5.
Let's find out. Okay, Kenneth Masters. It is 6 frames.
Or 6. That's really fast. Then.
That's really good. It makes sense, yeah, because he can also punish DJ Sweep, the crouching medium kick. That's -6. That's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good buff. And then like for like the chip scenarios too, like if you're trying to go for chip but you don't kill, you're safe. You're chilling, right? Like those miscalculations that could happen. So like he's just safer in other areas now, The Jinrai nerf is, I think it's pretty big, but he still gets Oki if he counter hits. So and he gets a fucking drive rush into a throw strike shimmy mix, so it's not like he doesn't get any.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. The Jinrai is still there though. It's just like, obviously the reward on the counter hit, right, is like gone. But then when people get counter hit by the Jinrai low, it's because they just mistimed the fuzzy jab.
Yeah, that's true.
About it.
That's
it's
true.
Not like, so it's not something that you can rely on. Be like, this is my B and B, baby. Like, no, it's like usually when that's like a mistake by the player doing that, or they fuck up the parry timing, so they got a medium kick instead because they plinked it. So like it's never like because you're not matching jab like that there. You could just lay jab. So usually it's an accident. So they make it seem like it's such a big deal. Like how often does that hit in a high level?
True.
Yeah, we didn't even see that shit connect versus Mena once because that didn't happen. Mena versus Ryukichi. Japan, right? So it's like and that matchup you get to abuse Jinrai versus Blanca too. So because Blanca can't stop it with the up ball,
Shoutouts to Blanca being able to combo command grab now, huh?
That's a big deal too. Blanca's pretty good in this patch, but a lot of characters are though. But that always starts that way. A lot of characters feels very good until it gets like filtered a little bit more and more and more. The more tournaments we see, But I think that how strong the character is not as important like lately because we've been seeing different kind of character placements like across every tournament.
True.
And the known strong characters weren't like dominating the results page as much.
We weren't seeing Akuma's winning like that, right?
Or Bison as well. Like you don't see them like that. So there's always a new one. So that's actually really cool to see that. So we don't know how the which character would perform well in tournament, but it would not because the character is broken like that, you know? Like it would just be because the player kind of propelled it. Because I used this example as like with the Ryu before. I said Ryu was still similar, like was an extra buff, right? Got buff a little bit, but during that time he was still considered as trash-ish during this time, and then until Kusanagi showed the world that that he could do it, and he beat Xiaohai in the grand finals.
Right.
You remember that moment when he beat him? That was a huge deal.
True.
That's a huge deal.
And they still buffed that motherfucker, bro.
Yes, that's the first time we ever seen a Ryu winning anything. First time, right? That was just special, And then like after that, and then Blas kind of start cooking, and then ending Walker dropping Ed to pick Ryu instead because that matches with his style more. And then he starts cooking with Ryu. So usually it's only those three people doing damage with Ryu, anyways, right?
I'm not afraid to win with characters anymore because it doesn't seem like the characters that win get nerfed, right? Am I spitting?
Yeah,
I feel like I'm spitting, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know.
Right, JP wins $1 million, bro. That motherfucker's chilling.
Yeah, but it's not like JP is like all over the place. It's very few
Still,
JPs. Yeah, it's not like he's easy to play either.
He's not, for sure. He's definitely not. 100% he's not. Yeah. But still, like...
That's warranted. Yeah, so I like that there's like new winners every time. I like that. I like that. It should be like that, Imagine, though, if the Capcom had a system where you can like vote about who should get nerfed.
Oh my!
They have a website. Think about that,
bro.
Give us your thoughts on which character, and can you imagine? But by the way, the opinions that count, you have to link your CFN, right? And you need to be 2K at least.
Bro, I would be campaigning like Barack Obama in 08.
Think about that. How many 2K accounts I'm gonna make, brother? I'm making fucking 300 of them bitches. Like to spam the fuck out of the voting shit, and then whoever wins that, then that would be so crazy,
bro. That would be insane.
I think that's good though, and then you put that out there so people see what the high level is voting for. But then I guess the propaganda is gonna happen also, because like the players are gonna be like, no, dude, the most broken character here is like they're gonna say like Honda, they're gonna do that, they're gonna troll, and then the worst character to them will be their main character, right? You're gonna see a few of those fuckers. Ken will be the worst character there. Will be voted the worst character.
But see, this is the thing. They have a history of not listening to the motherfuckers. How many times have we seen character polls and those characters do not show up in the games? Makoto has been #1 consistently for how many fucking years, and that character is never coming back for some reason.
I don't think Makoto should ever come back anyways.
She's so dope, though.
Because he doesn't apply in the game.
She's so cool.
She has a free drive rush.
So?
She's already drive rushing when she moves.
Okay.
Yeah, so she doesn't apply in the game. That's like putting Rufus in the game. Do you think Rufus works in this game? But there's no.
I don't think Rufus works in any. I don't think he works. I think he's unemployed.
Yeah, but I think like I don't think Makoto works in this game. Yeah, so that's why it doesn't make sense to add her. Though, let's talk about DLC though.
Wait! I didn't get to give you my winners.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry.
Wow, what a fucking asshole! You don't want to hear about my Jamie praise. Don't I see? I understand. It's okay. I think at least three winners I could think of are for sure Ryu. I think that's pretty obvious. Everybody should have him in your top 3 winners of this patch. Mainly because he's just a character that already did a lot of damage is doing more damage now. And now he's getting better Oki off of anti-air heavy DP, which is like insane.
That's insane.
That is insane. That is the most slept on buff.
That damage is so much, bro. It's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, what the fuck? Okay, and so now he has that for God knows what reason. And then I would say, I'm not gonna lie, I think Dalsim's changes are really good.
It's minor. Yeah, but it's not gonna change the core problems that he has.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah,
but
he is a buff for sure.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The ripple effect from the parry change, it's kind of a double-edged sword because on defense, his defense is going to be harder, right? But technically, I mean, on defense, he was already losing to throw loops, right? So parry high or low doesn't really fucking matter. He's going to lose that interaction anyways, right?
Already there, yeah.
But now here's the thing. Yeah. He got buffed because of parries getting nerfed, because in neutral now, people have to know what button you're pressing, and they can't just mindlessly fucking twitch reflex on a button in perfect parry and drive rush in and get corner carry and fucking throw loop you to death.
Okay, no. You play Dalsim, so you don't want to talk about it. Every single button that he has can get parried except for the low.
Right.
Everything is a mid. What are we talking about?
Yeah, but
That did not change then. That doesn't change the meta for that. Everything is a mid except for the low, the 3 HP.
no, it does change the mid because in those ranges where you could threaten, so from far away, it's not as threatening, right? Because like the only thing you have to really look for is crouch fierce.
Yeah.
Crouch fierce, right? But if you're at crouching strong range, that's also the same range that medium slide is plus.
Yeah.
Right? So if somebody is relying on like Twitch reflexing, you could take advantage of their reactions by doing stuff like that, right? And then if they imperfect parry, you plus you're Dawson's not the scariest. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's like fucking game changer or anything like that, right? Yeah, but the thing about that character is he has to play so perfect, and so when you get an extra 2 or 3 interactions to play, it can make a big difference.
That's a big difference. Yes, that's true. That is so correct, brother. You're right on that one. Right on the money.
So, and then the stability of, like, for example, him getting like a better EX blast for anti-air purposes is pretty cool. I'm really happy with that. It does look a little wonky though, because I swear I was trading with jump-ins on the first active frame, even though it's supposed to be anti-air invincible. So I don't know what's going on with that. Could be a bug. I'm not sure. That happened too. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Because if it's invincible, then it's invincible, you know.
Yeah, and now he's getting more damage overall with the conversions off of heavy blast into level 1 mid screen, which is pretty dope. I'm really happy.
Really good.
That shit is so good. That shit is so good. And the float. And the float! Yo, do you remember when I told you? I said, yo, he's gonna be moving like Magneto. He was like, you know
what? Let's forget that one. Let's just move on.
Why do you forget about that? Why do we gotta forget about that?
OD Fireball. Have you tried the OD Fireball?
I don't understand that buff.
I would throw the OD Fireball.
I don't understand that buff.
No, because before it was like 13 frames or 14, whatever. Now it's 12 frames, right? So you throw it really, really fast. So you throw with a medium and a heavy version in like that close proximity, like inside the 2 MP range. So if they're like trying to walk up, block, and you can fire, then you just get knocked
down. Yeah, okay. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you throw it like fireballs. You throw the medium and the heavy version, and you knock them down. You fucking go full screen again. It's like, shit, this is sick.
Oh, fuck.
And you remember, that fireball recovers instantly, too. So, like, it's not like they be jumping that, you know? Good luck with that. The dash is broken. I love that one.
Shit.
And that's 1 frame difference, but you do the fast version, that shit's insane. Because that's already enough for them to get hit on the micro walk.
Right. You know? You know what's funny?
That's huge.
Remember when we talked about fighting Cammy season 2? We were like, yo, how the fuck do we... Remember you were like trying to come up with ways of countering the walk-in block?
That's the one.
That's it. Yeah, that was the one thing in that matchup. I was like, yo, I cannot figure out how to fucking. What I was trying to do, which was giving me okay mileage, was light flame and footsies. That was okay. Yeah. But it doesn't do a lot of damage, and who gives a fuck, right? Like,
that one does, and you can even link the super if some random situation how it looks. So that's good.
Oh, that's
and you can link the medium punch after too, which is nice. Plus, you get the good knockdown too. You get the safe jump teleport after that bitch. The safe jump with a roundhouse kick, by the way. And not
wait, what? You could safe jump. What?
With the roundhouse. Okay.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so do this. Right, so you do this. You do back medium punch, heavy flame. You can do this. You can try it yourself. Back medium punch, heavy flame. Jump slightly higher than usual. Teleport to the other side and do 5 HK.
Wait, motherfucker. Hold on. We gotta. Wait. We gotta. Where's my Dulcimerino at? Hold on.
I got some new setups too with that fucker. But I need to play him more though.
Wait, so does this work on 5 frame DPs or only 6 frames?
I think it works on 5 framers too. But try it first. Practice the timing. I promise you, it works. And you can also do the light kick instead to make it sure. The light kick version. There's even something that Liston posted. If you do the DI knockdown, a DI crumple, you dash forward or walk forward into Cracking Fierce, and you do the heavy flame, air flame, and you do the safe jump, tiger knee, air teleport to the other side with a light kick too, and the safe jump. So there's like a lot of like new shit that he got because of like adding that extra, making the flame slower. Just making the flame slower, the ripple effect is crazy. So technically you nerf it, but then it buffed everything else. It's so crazy.
Yeah, this is I gotta get used to this timing.
Yeah. It's like the higher teleport, yes.
I'm on a new fucking Korean stick, so my jump is a little harder to hit than the fucking regular cardinal.
And then light of the teleport button. Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, you can get it down. After you get it down, you could do it.
Oh my god. Oh, let me just save it right here.
Yeah.
Oh, that is gross. What the fuck?
Yeah. Okay, try to do this. After the heavy up flame, do light slide and then medium slide. Both gonna whiff, by the way. Just try it mid screen or anywhere in the world. Try it. Up flame and then light slide, then medium slide. That shit's hella plus, bro.
Oh.
Look at that. That's just crazy. That's just nuts.
Oh, that's gross. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Dawson, okay.
Try this one too. Try this one.
Okay.
You do up flame again, knock down heavy, right? And then you do medium arc, right?
Okay.
And do 5 HK. Just do that. Just look at the interaction. By the way, you can do a lot of things after the 5 HK. You can cancel.
Wait, so you're saying you're not saying to do crouching strong into the juggle, right? You just
no, don't do that. You use the knockdown to throw the medium arc instead, and then you do 5 HK immediately after you recover from it, and look what happens. That's a fucking new interaction.
Oh shit!
Did you see them back recovery? Did you see when they back recovery? They're like not very happy.
Right.
That's just crazy, brother. I promise you. Because now you can cancel the 5 HK to a teleport or something. All right.
Oh, you're saying 5 HK? I'm doing fucking stand heavy kick.
No, 5 HK. Stand heavy kick. Yeah, stand heavy kick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you do medium fire. The fireball basically would hit them at the ad like leg, and then they get hit by the HK. Right? It will combo. It's super weird.
What the fuck?
It's crazy, right? Yeah, I wrote down so many things though, but like. Yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Okay, and then. Oops. Wait, how plus are you if you
It depends on how they micro walk back too. You can make it up to +6 though when you teleport if you want. Depending on how they walk back from their wake up. But if they stay there because of the potential teleport threat, and then they can just deal with that. But that's not true. So after you do that, boom, boom, you can cancel the HK to a float, right? You get full screen control at least to push them to the corner.
I'm gonna have to experiment with it. That sounds pretty. Those are the type of like screen lockdown situations he needs.
Yeah, that's really good. You need that for sure. Plus, you have the double slide fucking mix too, brother, which is there. And you can just double slide. You can just slide and fucking dash and snatch them because they're gonna parry at times, brother. Holy shit. You can do short slide, right? You know, that's gonna be sick.
Dhalsim stocks on the rise, huh?
I actually thought you gotta pick Dhalsim and CEO because that's more stable to play than Jamie in brackets.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that after I was running through people this weekend playing him. I was like,
That's better I swear, that's better.
Might be, yeah.
That's better in that situation. Like, and obviously, you have to pick Jamie in other matchups, though. You know?
Yeah, if I play Cammy, DJ, I go Jamie all day. It's just pure footsies, and then I'm not afraid of anybody when it comes to that battle. So,
except for Takamura, you know.
Takamura didn't play footsies with me, bro. I just killed myself.
No, I mean, I saw he would punish every single button.
Bro, I just gave him.
I wouldn't consider that footsies too if
Christmas
I got whip punished for fucking 4 straight.
I gave him an early Eid gift.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Eid Murabak to my brothers. All right, so. And then I'd say the other character would be Jamie. Bro, I think Jamie that character is winning this patch, bro. I know he still has like the same glaring.
You're the expert.
He has like the same, like issues where it's like you have to choose the Oki or the drink. But
it's an investment. Okay.
But his main problem was he didn't do damage at drink 0. Right, so those round 3 scenarios when you'd hit somebody with a clean hit wouldn't really mean shit because you'd be most likely comboing into a scaled target combo or into a light, So he wasn't doing a lot of damage, but now that he has to stand strong into crouching strong, hit confirm, and his +2 on block, and he could combo into crouching fierce on counter hit, he gets a lot more damage.
That's huge.
Yeah, that shit is fucking crazy, bro. At level 0, I think it does like. If he does stand strong, crouch fierce, EX palm sweep, target combo, drink, it does 30%, which is pretty fucking crazy.
But you're not gonna get that in level 0. You're not gonna get that
in the corner. Yes, you know why you would? Because the threat of throw drink
without getting a drink. How did you get them cornered?
Well, some people like to walk back because of threat of palm.
But then you get a drink again if they were just walking back.
No, but I'm saying like
even get that situation.
Yeah, but sometimes you might not want to risk it depending on the character's drive rush, right? Like DJ or some shit. So instead, maybe walking him down, right? So if I were to walk him down and then I get like a drive rush established, and they don't want to take the throw because they don't want to give me drink, so they might tech. But then I get counter hit stand strong, and then I get crouch fierce, and I get the anyways, right? So what I like about him is that he's just now consistently like his decisions kind of feed themselves, if that makes sense,
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, as opposed to before, it felt kind of disjointed, where it was like, this is the optimal path. We have to hope that they're going to be dumb enough to let us do this. But now it's like, oh, if I'm correct on either of your decisions, I'm still going to get a drink, and I'm still going to maintain pressure. That's what's huge about that small change right there.
Huge. That's huge.
It's a really good stable buff. Like
every time.
Yeah, 100%.
Every time you buff a light attack or a medium attack, right, versus a heavy, it matters significantly more because you use them a lot. Now, if it's the button that got buff are the ones that your go-to pressures, like pressure normal, that's even more greater. And then you increase the reward out of it. That just has multiple like areas of your game gets buff.
Yeah.
So that's why the medium punch buff is huge.
Yeah, that buff is really good, bro. His stand medium kick got buffed. It's a frame faster now. So that button is winning. Well, it was already good, right? But now it's winning more against the faster mid-high attacks of the game, which is pretty cool. They did nerf the recovery, which is, it was inevitable that they were going to do that because that button was really hard to whiff punish.
They did it for everybody, though. Everybody's usual spammable stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. For the most part. But his was like obnoxious because it also low crushed. So like it was inevitable that was gonna happen.
Kimberly's? They didn't have Kimberly's medium pick?
I am not sure. I will quickly look that up, but I don't think so. Let me see. Stand medium kick. Nope, they did not touch it. Or stand medium kick is the same.
If you nerf Jamie's, they should nerf. I mean, they didn't really nerf Jamie. They buffed Jamie's medium kick.
Yeah.
Because if the drawback, if it's like if I whiff it, I get punished. I mean, brother, you deserve that.
Yeah, true.
Kind of like that.
That button's really good.
So I never really cared about the if you whiff the normal, then that's your bad.
Yeah.
Kind of like like yeah, I don't care about that.
I like the change. I'll take the change, bro. Yeah, because now on drive reversal punishes, he gets crouching medium punch, stand medium kick into EX palm. He couldn't do anything other than
that's huge too.
Yeah, he couldn't do that before. Too. So he could only do like one crouch medium punch into EX palm, and it did like 2100 maybe. But now he's doing like 24 to 26 ish. It's pretty good.
Sad, yes. Yeah. Sad. Yeah.
It's really good now. So he's getting that. But so here's one of the bigger buffs is his Rekkas can cancel into super now.
That's not as huge as the other changes compared to. Like I mean, the rec is decent, I guess, but it doesn't. It's like one of those when you get to that point of the game, it would matter, but you rarely get to that point of the game when that's a threat.
That's what you think, but catch this, right? So not only is it amazing for the clutch conversions, right? Because
that's what it's only for.
No, it's not only for that. That's the thing. You think it's only for that, but it's not. So let's just say like outside of drink level 4 Jamie, the clutch of getting Rekka level 3 and killing, awesome, right? But then the other thing is inside of drink level 4, his drive chip, bro, not even just that. If I do drive rush fierce at round start, EX Rekkas is a true block string, right? All of it's a true block string. And then you get level 2 activate and you're plus 10, and you could do like crouch fierce Rekka. That's all a true string. Yeah. And then now you're doing, I think that does 3 bars of drive chip. Just that sequence.
Well, you just drive reversal after you do the crouch fierce though, right?
No, 100%. You could do that. You could 100% do that.
Every character, for the most part, has something similar, right?
Yeah, but he didn't really have something. He didn't really have a way of dishing out crazy drive chip jammings like that.
That's true. That's the plus side for sure.
Yeah, that's a plus of it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that one. Definitely. That's the plus side. They having another area that you can kind of like use to get a win condition. It's fucking perfect. If you add another, and any other situation that gets added to your character's overall game plan, that you can force a win condition, that's always great.
Yeah, it's huge. And
it doesn't happen as often,
It doesn't.
But you know, when it's needed and it's available, brother, that's good. You know?
Yeah, just having that option is huge because you're less, you know, especially if a character's like linear and obvious, you get kind of contained and boxed into a corner of decisions, and then a good player is going to pick you apart. But when you have a dynamic approach, you can win in multiple ways. It's hard to pin you down. You know, it's hard to pin down whatever your intent is going to be in the next situation. But I think that change is pretty big, especially for those KO killing situations, like, because a lot of his really wonky confirms, like into like the Bakais and stuff would be too slow off of certain strings and shit like that. But now you get the EX Rekka, which is safe. You could confirm it pretty easily into the second and third Rekka. And even if they block it, you could delay and frame trap it. And then you could level 2 at the end, or you could level 3 and kill. So it's like a really cool
playability, a lot of playability.
Yeah,
that little mind game going there. You know,
it's like good. Mad flexibility.
It matters more, actually. Yeah, that's good. It matters more actually than I thought originally. That's good. You're right.
Yeah, it's a very flexible change. You know, like at first I was like, wait, what the fuck?
I just feel bad because you're not gonna play Jamie when Sagat comes out, so you could just enjoy this for as much as you want.
What? I'm gonna play Jamie, bro. I'm still playing Jamie. I don't know why you don't believe me. I'm gonna play both of them.
You're not gonna pick fucking Jamie for a while when the Sagat rolls in the fucking.
Oh no, that's true.
Because we have to, because you know my Sagat will fucking be insane as usual, but then we can kind of like work together towards to get the ultimate, you know, Tiger. Going online, you know?
That's true.
Because that's just gonna be insane, brother. Bro, this guy is gonna be so good.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm excited. As far as losers, I'm gonna just say one. I agree with you with the Ed and Honda, and then let me add. I think Manon losing her burnout loop is kind of huge. I'm not gonna lie. I think that is a pretty big nerf.
Can I tell you something that's always been fake, even before?
Yeah, because you could get hit, right? You could get hit on purpose, and then you can interrupt it. Yeah, but But now you don't have to get hit. You can just.
But how often does that come into play, though?
I mean, a big deal. It's one of her win conditions, bro. Like, you know, and they've nerfed it.
Ones too, but like, yeah, but I don't think they should, because like they should actually there's so many other burnout scenarios are like more brain dead than that, right? You know, for the most part. Like, but I think that.
But other characters don't have a command grab.
That's fair. They don't have a command grab too. That's true.
That's what makes it fucked up.
Plus, she's a very hard character to balance as well.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with that.
Too hard to balance that character. So like that's why Jamie had a lot of like, you know, like they're not sure how to make a change with him, you know, for so long, right?
Right. That's true.
That's pretty nice.
Okay, so champ, I've been waiting for this moment my whole fucking week. I've been waiting for this. You know what I want to talk about? The season 3 DLC characters. Bum bum bum.
By the way, remember when I said that Sagat would for sure 100%? Remember that? I was correct, brother.
About what?
I told you that he's gonna make it in the DLC. Even maybe before I said that 100% the DLC Sagat. But then, you know, I was, you know, that's not really a big prediction, you know.
Yeah, it's like saying the sky is blue, bro. Like. Tomorrow.
No, really, because he usually doesn't come around this time too. But then, since I saw Bison, they should always have another
Shadow Loop.
Yeah, right. But then, I feel like every season there's always a Shoto, so I felt like a Shoto archetype would have to go to Sagat. So that's like my decision making there.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then I also said like something like there's gonna be one grappler that I don't think is gonna be Alex, guys. I said that too. It's like I don't think it's gonna be Alex because Alex is predictable DLC. So maybe they switch it up because we just had Maya and Terry, right? So maybe we're gonna have a different grappler because we're gonna have a grappler for sure DLC, but it's still Alex, which is weird. And then after that one, obviously nobody predicted the other two, you know. But but the Sea Viper, I'm super happy that at least she's not next year. She's this year.
That's true. I'm so hyped for her too, man. That character's so sick, bro. That character's so
I just wish they make it. It's still hard to play, but that's impossible nowadays.
Yeah,
they're not gonna do that. They're gonna make her fucking watered down execution kind of shit. I remember like to play her, you have to be like you gotta have Marvel hands to do it.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like
it's gonna be like Jinrai watch. It's gonna be like Jinrai watch. It's gonna just be like
I'm gonna be so annoyed about that.
It's literally gonna be like a Jinrai frame trap with fucking Seismos, bro.
I hate that she's gonna have fucking easier thing because like that character, the reason why she was special is because her execution requires you to be like an actual psychopath, right?
Mm.
You know, to play, right?
Right.
But now it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be like you just seismo, and if you press another button, it would do the feint. If you do the other button, she continues with it, like kind of like that, you know.
Mm.
Like then also if you do OD seismo cancel, you get invincibility, whatever. If she does have that, and also they have to rework her burn kicks too. So how does the burn kick work? Do you like? Can you tiger knee it? Can she do super jump in this game? Because she has to be able to super jump, right?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, what if they tie it? What if they tie it to the drive gauge? Because how else would you give her a super jump? I don't think they could give her a
super jump.
No, but I don't think they could give her that. I think that would be too fucking strong, bro.
That's how Viper plays. She super jump, burn kick.
Yeah, but it's Street Fighter 6, bro. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have to.
Telling you how we know.
They're gonna give her some sort of meter bullshit. Cause like, there's no way she's gonna have that. That's gonna be too strong, bro.
I mean, that's high. You need to have super jump because his super jump cancel her shit. What the fuck are you talking? How do you jump cancel her shit then?
I'm saying they might make it like a FADC. Remember how FADCs like worked? They might make that a super jump, but it uses bar. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, that's like that limits the. By the way, that's not really that broken. By the way, even if she has super jump,
I don't know, man. I think that's going to be kind of
more recovery. There's more recovery in startup when she does that, anyways. She just fly around and then you hit her in the landing, right? So she that's how the character is. She's like a character that fucks you up close, right? If she gets in, but her way of entry is full screen and usually from the seismo range. But she loses in the 2MK ground game. When she gets walked down, right? That's why you keep walking her down and she fucking anti-air her jump air until she gets cornered and she'll try to jump out of the corner and you fucking kill her that way. That's how you play her because she's dominant in those areas except for the walking down part. So like if you change her, then she would not feel like Viper or play like her. Then she's gonna be like kind of like how Seth was in Street Fighter 5, right? When totally nothing like Seth. You know?
What if they make her jump cancel one drive bar? That's not bad.
Jump cancel, you gotta use OD meter for that?
Yeah.
Or drive gauge? Why?
I just don't think they're gonna give her a fucking super jump, bro. I just don't believe it. The way they've been designing,
that's not even that bad for her archetype.
I don't see it, bro. I just don't. I feel like they're gonna do something that we're not expecting. Something weird.
But without a super jump, how do you jump cancel those other shit that she's doing? That's why it's tied for. That's why she was able to do those ding 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 ding. You know?
Yeah, but they might make that separate. So they might make seismal cancels not a super jump. It might be a Rekka.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because they're gonna do that because like people are not gonna want to do the uppercut up forward, press the button in the perfect frame, and then focus and then dash forward just to get like a seismo dash.
Right.
You have to do that, right? They're not doing that shit.
Right.
You know, so they're gonna make it a watered down execution part. Obviously, to play anything, regardless if it's watered down with execution, it's still high level because they're not really easy, right? So, but I'm talking the execution part. They're gonna make it, watered down in a sense for sure.
I can't wait for her though, bro. I hope they do it right,
she's
man.
A Marvel character too. A Marvel character like that cannot be bullshitted about. Like characters like that has to be technical, you know? Like like Elena is technical. Right.
They did a good job with making her technical.
That's a good direction. So if they make her technical, I wouldn't be surprised if they make her technical. But they're gonna play it safe with her. She's not gonna be top tier because the fine line for those idiots to know what's the top tier would be, right? From a Marvel character like that, for them making a mistake, it's really close line, brother. So like, imagine they just messed up a little bit. That bitch is gonna ruin the fucking tour, bro. For sure. Imagine. Because if you have that much leeway, then she will have so much expression. So she can do like dash cancel. So she could like manipulate the frame data. Because she has actual true cancels, feints. True. Right? And then release. But though, technically, you're not going to see her win for a while. If she's designed to be technical. Because if she's too technical, she doesn't win right away, guys. She takes like a year for you to actually understand the player. So she's like, but given how Street Fighter 6 is, like I'm pretty sure they're gonna water her down, so she's accessible right away. But that would not be C Viper.
You think she's gonna have the uppercut cancels? The size of like the invincible shit? That shit will be so fire.
That would be that's what I was thinking. I think that. How about the overhead? Can she do cross up? bird kick too? Can she do that? She has to be able to do that.
She got to in a game with parry.
Cancel. Yeah, and just parry, but just focus attack. We used to kind of do with that, you know.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that she's gonna be nice, but hard to play. It should be.
I wonder if they're gonna make her her Thunder Knuckle armor break. There aren't many armor breaking moves in this game. They're usually tied to supers.
Only DI, right? A super, right? So only supers.
Yeah.
I think that would be broken, right? If she has an armor breaker.
But yeah, you never know, right? Because like you were saying with Elena, it's like they're leaning more into the character uniqueness now. It seems with the DLC. So
yes.
Maybe they're gonna try to get the engine to be balanced in a way where the characters can shine again. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's gonna be like V skill all over again.
Wait, what part? The character uniqueness?
You know, like V skill. You know, like they try to balance like the game where everybody has different V skill, right? In a way in Street Fighter 5, and then it didn't really turn out to their vision. That they want to make sure every character is so unique, but in the same time, so the actual game mechanic that they all share. Sure, they all have V trigger, but everybody's V trigger is different still. Right. Everybody's V trigger like has different. You know, how many V trigger it takes for to get the full one, right? You know, it's a 2 or a 3 or a 1 for Dan, right? Like, and then the only thing that was very common with everybody was the V shift. That's when like shit changed, right? When the V shift happened, they added the mechanic in Street Fighter 5. So like I think in this game, I think like characters like Viper, I just don't want it to get watered down ever. I just feel like you're not doing the character like justice if you do that. Like she's known to be an execution monster character. So I think that it shouldn't be like that. Just my take. You know
how?
But she's definitely gonna be nerf version, watered down 100%.
So yeah, we don't really have obviously any. Everything we're talking about here is just like theory, guys, because we don't really know. Like we're just fucking throwing darts in the dark. Okay. But we can go off of Sagat gameplay that we seen. Let me tell you, I was so shocked. I couldn't believe they showed gameplay.
What do you think about him?
Oh, did you see my reaction? Oh
yeah.
Oh, bro.
I'm so happy for you.
I was. Oh my god, he looks amazing. His hits feel like hits. They don't feel like he's punching wet paper bags.
He's gonna do a lot of damage as usual, but
but I'm big on like the impact. Like I like the feel. Like Sagat's V skill DP when they hit and in the Tiger Ward. Oh my god, bro!
Feel the pain in that bitch,
bro. My body levitates when I hit that shit. Like don't ever let me hit V skill DP on you because I just won't lose. I just can't lose in my head. It's impossible at that point.
I'm just concerned about the fucking what's the frame data on the fucking fireballs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so I counted it frame by frame. The high shot is 13.
Startup?
Yeah, it's 13 frames, and then the low shot was like 15.
For a high shot?
Yeah.
That means it recovered.
Bro, did you see how fast it smacked Ryu in the face? I kept rewinding it. I was like, what the fuck? Like he was like this, and then it was just like boom. I was like,
that's Ryu's daddy. So they can make him top tier for sure, fucking Ryu. But if there's a Sagat in the game, brother, that's Ryu's dad.
That shit is,
brother.
That shit is fast, bro. So his fireball looks really fast, and of course, like that's the mainstay of the character. So like the parry changes. I have a theory. This is what I was talking about earlier. I was alluding to this. Is what if he has the uniqueness? Like you talked about with the perfect parries, where you have to perfect parry each fireball a particular way.
You think you're gonna give her exception?
I think so.
That would be crazy because that's not a high or a low though.
But the thing is, you can already crouch the high. You know what I'm saying? You can already crouch the high, and then if they don't do that, then you would literally cover the low timing, and the high so fast that you might even be able to fucking drive rush into pressure if it whiffs. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that would be broken as fuck if you have to down parry the low shot and the high shot, like a high one.
That would be fucking awesome. That's what I hope they do.
That's broken as fuck. Are you sure? How are you gonna walk him down?
Good. Great.
Are you gonna jump?
I don't give a fuck. Figure it out.
Can't do that.
That's your job, not mine.
You cannot be part of any development.
I don't give a
destroying
fuck.
The game.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a flying.
Like you are.
Fuck.
That's like the worst.
I don't give a fuck.
So you'll be the only character to just abuse fireballs with no repercussions there.
Good. Great.
That's so bad. I mean, you're gonna destroy Street Fighter. That would be completely destroyed. But every tournament is gonna be like, Sagat mirror.
Great. Make it easier for me.
That's not good. I like fighting games, so you just ruin fighting games. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, fight your demons. That's what I like. There you go. Sagat's your demon. There you go. Bro, it would be pretty good, but I don't think it'd be broken though.
What are you talking about? How are you gonna walk him down?
You have to.
Once you're in the mid range, you're guessing now what fireballs are coming now.
Good. There's no fireball chip, motherfucker. Just block. What's wrong with blocking nowadays?
He's gonna burn you out.
He's gonna burn you out. You know how many fireballs it takes to burn you out? I did the math.
I know that's a lot.
It's a lot. Just for one bar?
It's 5. It's 5 for 1 bar. Yes.
5? No, it's like 12, bro. It's not 5. Nah, bro. It's definitely less than 5.
Block?
Bro, that shit is non-existent, bro.
I guess it depends on which character, right? You know?
Bro, that shit doesn't do shit.
But I think Sagat would do a lot though.
Yeah, hopefully.
Also, you can't do that with those things because you also have the fucking neutral skip with the tiger knee, brother.
We don't even know if that's good yet.
That's gonna be good, brother, for sure.
Yeah, that's what they said in 5. And that motherfucker got fucking he got arthritis in his fucking joints. You see what he looks like when he does that shit in 5? He needs a life alert. He has to hit his life alert every time he fucking does it, bro.
That's actually the worst Sagat I've seen in Street Fighter 5. Even though he was pretty good with design, his actual like tier placement in the game is just not the best. He's like a mid tier in a good day, you know, overall.
Yeah, on a good day.
That's bad. Yeah, but dude, in this game, bro, seriously, this engine, dude, he gonna beat the fuck out of the fucking Shotos, bro. He beating for sure Ken and Ryu.
I think he's gonna destroy Akuma.
Akuma? I don't think he beats Akuma.
I think he's gonna destroy Akuma, bro.
Not this Akuma with this fireball Akuma?
Nah, bro. If his fireball's looking like what it looks like in that trailer,
nobody beats his fireball game though. Let's just keep it real.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna have
the best fireball as always.
And Akuma's gonna try to jump fireball, and he's gonna fucking eat a DP.
He's never doing that. A pro is not gonna do that.
And that's what you say. Oh, I'll make a pro fucking jump. Let me tell you.
No, they're jumping, but they're not doing jump fireball.
That's what you think.
Because that can get DP'd. You know, so I think they gotta do demon flip fakes on you, right? You know, demon flip.
I have Kara DP. Hopefully he has Kara DP.
Yeah, for sure. But you have to make some reads there too, you know?
Nah, not me, bro. My DPs are freakish. I don't think.
Walk you down. I don't think Akuma loses to Sagat, brother. Like no shot.
You're gonna learn.
See losing, like I can see Ken get destroyed in fucking Ryu for sure. That's like every design, you know? That's like. And also, did he throw his medium kicks?
No, they didn't show any of his they didn't show his buttons. I don't think, right? They only showed his specials. That's all they showed.
Was that a special when he's doing the bunch of kicks thing?
Yeah, so I think that's like a Jinrai move, bro. That looks like a Jinrai because it looks like the V Trigger 2 from Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was it looks like 2 parts. It's a 2-hitting first part and then like a frame trap second part. So I think that's like his Jinrai type of thing. Not too sure.
But how come he's flaming thing? Like.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like an install, maybe could it be a part of the install?
No, I think it's a move. I think it's like a move. I don't think it's like a target combo or anything like that. He might have target combos. I don't know, but that looks like a special move.
Gave him a Jinrai?
Maybe. It looks like the V Trigger 2 move in 5. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I thought so. But if that's a V Trigger in the past. What makes you think that that's gonna be a standard fucking special?
I don't know, bro. They might do some weird shit. They might give him Cammy DPs. You know how like Cammy can charge her DP. They might not even give him fucking Angry Scar.
That's bad if they don't do that.
I hope to God they don't do that.
Angry Scar when you have Denjin, right? There's that's the partner, you know.
Right.
You need to have that. And Sagat would have an Angry Scar, and if you jump in that motherfucker, you're done. That's why. But. I don't like. Okay, I'm imagining how Sagat would play in this game with that look. I just still can't see. Like, I don't know what matchup he's gonna like struggle. Right? If so, I think he might lose to JP if that. Pretty, you know, if ever, right? If ever. But I don't know other matchups. I think he'll do okay versus Dawson because of the high shots. It's super fast. It's hard to keep up with that, and Dawson's teleport is shit in this game.
True.
So like. So I think he wins to the fire. I can't just float because Kara DP will exist in Tiger Knee.
Right.
So it's gonna be a long drawn out ground game. But then like how about the other common characters? Like she for sure destroys like, let's say, I think Bison. I think he beats Bison too, huh?
I could
Because his
see it,
heart's a
yeah.
charged Psycho Crusher, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be too telegraphed, bro. And then on top of that,
Bro.
Crusher isn't frame 1 invul, it's like frame 6 invul for EX Crusher.
Bro.
It's really slow.
Still hard. They're hard, bro. And plus, there's Sagat will recover. Let's say you throw a low one, and a slow one, and he blocks it, and throw a fast high. Bro,
yeah, he's
good
cooked.
luck with that one.
Yeah, he's cooked.
He's gonna do Psycho Crusher, and he's gonna DP Yoga. He recovers already. This is gonna be so broken.
I wonder how fast his EX Fireball is gonna be if his fucking regular Fireball is that fast.
It's gonna be so insane. It's gonna be fast for sure. And he could probably like, okay, just think about this. Let's say you DP them, they jump, they uppercut, and then they back tech, but they will still knock down. And you throw a meaty, low, like a meaty high shot that's gonna hit them their way. Kind of like SF5, you know, you would throw a high shot, but then it's gonna hit medium, right? And this dude, obviously, they say he mashed instead. He doesn't want to parry, wants it to whiff instead. Okay, and then you drive rush with it. This is a slow, and then you overhead since you have to duck it. You know. Like,
oh,
you know,
shit.
What if that's a thing? What if that's a thing?
Right.
Right. What if that's a thing? You know. Oops.
What if his Tiger Knee's good?
I don't know. Tiger Knee is gonna be good. I think it can be bad though. It cannot be bad. Tiger Knee can never be bad.
It looks high in this game. Like it looks like it looks like it goes a lot higher than it did in 5. 5 was like more horizontal but slow. This one looks more like a Street Fighter 4 knee.
That's what you want.
That's exactly what I want. I don't want that fucking Street Fighter 5 shit. You heard about what I said earlier with the life alert?
You want the high fucking Tiger knees.
I don't want Sagat playing bingo at 7 o'clock on a Friday. I want fucking fast and fluid.
Factor if it's top tier, right? If his standing light kick is cancelable to fucking Tiger shots, the far part of it, not the first part of the light kick, the 5 OK Tiger shot.
Oh,
okay? That's always a deciding factor, brother. Because his 2 MK is always low, right? Because he has 5 MK anyways.
Right.
So when he does a fireball, he'll do 2 MP and then fireball, right? But then you need to have the 5 OK. Because it's just like I would do like jab, medium, light kick, target shot. You know, it's kind of like that.
I hope they give him the 4 light kick though. You know, the double hit.
No, not that one. That's like not that. And then he might have that too, to be honest with you.
You think they give him a feint? I hope they give him a feint, like the stand roundhouse feint.
For sure. He has Kara DPs for sure.
But does he have a feint though? Do you think he has a feint?
Feint what?
Like remember the double roundhouse? You double tap it and he like fakes it.
I don't think he has that. I don't think he has that. But he could just whiff a jab and he would just do this.
Yeah, true.
And then that's enough.
Especially if it's fast, it's gonna force people to be preemptive.
Yeah, yes, that's for sure. So he's gonna be fine for sure. With his engine, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a bad matchup. I just don't know what it is. Yeah, it's definitely not a zoner. It's definitely like potentially Ingrid, brother. Because look, I'm excited for the Ingrid bitch because I don't know about her. But
Me
apparently
either.
she's not. She's an alien or something, some sort.
She's like a god.
Yeah, so she's gonna have some psycho power, some shit like a fucking floating in the skies kind of nonsense. I do not know. So I think that's kind of like my character jam. But that character would not appear until next year, anyways, 12 months from now, if ever, right? So I don't really know, right? The only 2 characters we should be excited about is Sagat and C-Viper because we're gonna get them for sure this year. And we're gonna get Sagat next month, and we're gonna get Ingrid maybe September. Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
I do think we get him. I think we get him.
I'm sorry.
I say we're gonna get him the first week of July.
Who?
Sagat.
Are we high here?
Very high. I'm high off life.
That's a very wishful thinking, but I can see the logic too, though. I can argue for both sides if this is true. If I feel that that's gonna be the case, you know, I can argue, but I can see it too, or your vision about that. I think it's likely.
Ooh,
but
yeah.
Evo is like first week, right?
First week August, yeah.
Okay, so they need to give like X amount of time, right? So I was thinking it should be like July mid, like maybe 18, 16, 15-ish.
The 18th is a Tuesday, so yeah, that would make sense. I think that's a Tuesday.
Maybe.
Oh no, it's a Friday. Never mind. The 15th is a Tuesday.
No, Vinny said 19th. They said so. July 19th to get Sagat.
What?
So basically like 5 weeks from now. Yeah, that's what Vinny said.
Nah, that's not true. There's no date. There's no date yet.
I don't remember a date though. But
there's
Vinny
no date.
Is legit though. Vinny's legit.
Nah, there's no date yet. But that's the thing. So the reason why I say he's gonna come out earlier is because usually they do the world tour teaser, then they show like, you know, the character, then they show gameplay, then they do the guide. They already showed gameplay, so I'm like, what the fuck?
I wouldn't call that a gameplay, brother.
That's
Not a
gameplay.
gameplay.
That's gameplay. You know how Aki, when they showed Aki, they just had her fucking doing the seduction shit at Evo when she was poisoning the fucking Avatar or World Tour character, whatever. Like, they skipped that, and then the next time you saw her, you saw gameplay, right? So this is like that. I think he's so far along in development. I think he's already finished. And then on top of that, I compared the Akuma to Bison release time frame, and I think it's gonna be like that. It was within like 20, like 30 days or something like that. It was like, or some shit.
Yeah, it should be fast though. Fast transition, you know.
Yeah, so that's why I say that. So
yeah, I'm kind of excited. I'm quite excited about it, for sure.
I can't wait, bro. I'm gonna fucking. I think I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Same.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Sagat's pretty easy though. That's an easy character to get to like 2K. That's like one day.
Yeah, because people.
Like
yeah, people are getting so frustrated fighting him, bro.
That's cake. That's cake for sure. That's like always been my highest win rate character aside from Dalsum is Sagat.
Oh shit. Yeah, so you told me that's your second favorite Street Fighter character, right?
Yeah. That's always been my second. That's always been like my high win rate character is Sagat.
You like copying me, huh? You want to copy my Dalsum, now you want to copy my Sagat?
I've been playing Sagat, brother, before you started playing Sagat in SF5, brother. I did it in SF4. Okay? So please. Okay, SF4 you play what? Fei Long and Cammy, brother?
My bad, I forgot you was playing Street Fighter since the Last Supper, you old bastard.
You copied me, brother. Okay? Because I actually played in 4, brother. Okay? You were playing Fei Long, Bruce Lee, and shit. Okay? Alright? So you better stop with that nonsense. You're like a Street Fighter 5 Sagats. If ever you're like fraudulent, okay? You're like a
me?
cat.
No, my Street Fighter 4 Sagat is real.
But nobody saw it though.
They didn't have to see it. I played a worse Sagat. Listen, I played a worse Sagat in a fucking worse game. Going back to 4 is it's cupcakes.
Yeah, that's true. The worst Sagat is for sure SF5. No.
Not only is he the worst Sagat, he had the worst environment because every character had an anti-fireball. That was 2 buttons or some stupid shit like that. Not every character, but most characters with V skills and shit. You know?
I don't know. I think like that's just. I think Sagat is just like that. You know? It's just whatever it is.
Yeah. So I don't. But anyways, all right. So let us go to CEO. We can do this really quick. It's not going to take too long. CEOs this weekend. If you guys don't know, I actually leave Thursday. I am pretty excited for that. CEO is going to be the first tournament of the season on the actual patch, not this 2.5 bullshit. Dude. It's the actual Elena patch. So this is going to be the real deal start of season 3 for me, in my opinion.
It's going to be the same.
You know,
no difference.
It's not, yeah, this, you know, this is gonna just be more of the same, you know, occasional Zaf victories here and there, but you know, we're gonna see the usual suspects getting far in the bracket for sure, right? But it's just the matter of how it's gonna be done. It's gonna maybe look a little bit different character choices, like you were saying. Tokido's looking into Chun-Li, so I wouldn't be surprised to see character specialists swapping over. Men has been playing Elena, that's his favorite character, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see some of his Elena on the stage, on the grand stage at CEO at some point. But yeah, there's less players at this event, but it's more stacked than Combo Breaker. Mainly because of the timing, where there's like a little break between these events. There wasn't really a timing between Combo Breaker and the Shanghai tournament and the BAM. So there was like a lot of traveling going on. So there, you know, some players just weren't making that type of a trek to 3 events across the world. But now there's, you know, a couple weeks off for leading up to the CEO, so we're going to see a lot of the elite players from all around the world attending this event. The pools are super stacked. I'm excited. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of chaos, I think, with like some of the changes, you know what I'm saying? But you'll see more or less the same people winning. It's just how they're going to win is probably going to look different.
Well, there can also be some surprises. Some, like, let's say, like a pro might get like Ryu'd early, or they get like
Jamie
by something that not Jamie. you know, like, but so this upsets are quite common at the high level, anyways, versus other pros, right? So that's why I don't want to call them upsets, but in a sense, but that's what other people say. But I think that the top 8 of this one is gonna be different again, because like usually every top 8 is different now. Literally, I swear, every top 8 from since like MENA winning Evo Japan, and the Chinese tournament in Asia Champions League is different, and then the next tournament is different. Every top 8 is different. I swear, every time, and a different winner, mind you. Nobody does a win again. It's that's how competitive it is. But sure, the pros are consistent for a reason. But I'm saying like when it comes to like that kind of like highest level kind of stuff, it's like really difficult, you know. So you just got to be in the mix.
I'm excited for it, bro. It's a 24-hour venue at CEO too, so there's gonna be a lot of games getting thrown around. This is like the best way of training outside of being in Japan, is being at a venue like this where it's an international competition, 24-hour venue, bro. That shit is a dream.
I hope the schedule. I hope they put the top 8 like the next, and not like. I hope they put the top 128 or 64 like all in congested in like the first
Saturday, right?
2 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would. So Sunday is only 8, right? So people would actually play the casuals at night. You know.
I hope so, bro.
Right,
I hope so. I hope so. If not, I'm gonna have to talk to Rick and Jabali, bro, because we gotta change that next year, man. That was like the one gripe I had with Combo Breaker. Otherwise, a phenomenal event, but a lot of the top players that made it to Sunday, which was top 48 or whatever, they just didn't play because they were getting ready to, you know, for the early runs or whatnot. But when it's top 8 all the way up to top 8 on Saturday, you see a lot of the salt. You see all the players like, I need to get this. I need to get my lick back, and you see money matches and all that stuff. So like, hopefully,
that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. Exciting.
Hopefully that's you know, a thing. But all right. So really quick, book of the week. So I actually already chose this book recently. I think in season 1 or the early episodes, but I've been rereading it again, and this is what I've been just reflecting on, which is a book called Peak Performance. It is a super dope book that basically provides stories regarding a lot of top performers, and the top performers come across from different realms, ranging from athletic to intellectual to artistic realms of like expertise. So you get to see a lot of scientific insights regarding the cognitive and like neurochemical factors that go into performing at a high level across all of these different expertises and whatnot. So it's a super dope book, Peak Performance by Brad Stolberg and Steve Magnus, right? Super fly book, highly recommend it. One of my favorite things I learned from this book, bro, was what separates the best from the rest is the rest, because you have to master relaxation as much as you do the work. Bang.
That's nice.
A bar. It's a bar, champ. All right, really Q&A time, boys and girls.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking boogie. All right, what we got here? For a top player, how often... Okay, so this is from Bane. For a top player, how often do you find yourself autopiloting in your matches? Is it possible to be consciously making decisions at all times at the highest level? You shouldn't be consciously making decisions all the time, because that leads to decision fatigue. You should have practiced your strategy and your system so much so that you're able to pivot without using much mental exertion. Because what's really important, I learned from Champ a lot, is tournament endurance and stamina. So that's something I've been working on a lot for 2 out of 3 is like playing in a way which is like it's you could repeat it, it's repeatable. Effortless. You know what I'm saying? It's not too overly intricate and stuff like that, so that you can conserve that mental energy for later on in the brackets when you're playing the more advanced players. So I do autopilot. You should be autopiloting. Actually, if somebody says that to you, that's a fucking compliment, to be honest.
I mean, the autopilot needs to be right, though. You know.
Yeah, for sure, it has to be right. But at least it means that you've practiced enough to get to a point where you don't. It looks like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, So for instance, like autopiloting in a way where you have completely mastered your general strategy, like to reduce variance, right? That's basically what it is. That you can just like click play and then play reactive to what they throw at you based on the template of your strategy. So since you mastered your strategy already, your approach, what your opponent will throw at you is only A, B, or C at that point per interaction, per situation, right? So after that point, your initial response will be faster. If you have to actually think about it, like every decision, then your response will be a bit slower. So that's gonna be more detrimental to your overall game. So that's why pros practice a lot, so you don't have to think about every choice. It's like, think about it. If somebody whips a DP in general in front of you, do you have to think about every hit of your combo? It's just automatic, right?
Right.
It's automatic. It's automatic. Whatever you're gonna do, whatever you ABC into DRC into 1, 2, 3, whatever it could be, it's automatic. So every player is trying to strive to be like, to get to that point where all their decision making is like leveled that way, where you would have to think when presented like a clutch decision, right? That's when you use your stuff, when you really have to get when you have to get this W, right? You have to think, when you have to make that final read, if ever that is, so that's what you think, but when it comes to your general strategy, that should just be play, like that. It's like your system, in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful answer, my friend. Good job. All right. Okay, go ahead. You can choose the next one.
What's the best way to juggle multiple characters? Well, this is not for general, because like I guess, let me see. Yeah, I guess I answered this one. The best way to juggle multiple characters, I think you don't have to juggle them, but what you need to do in a sense where is they focus a lot mostly on your main character and get to a certain level that, to your point, that because like you can have multiple characters, but say depending on your level, right? But then if you like you wouldn't have a character that will be a lot higher than all the other characters that you're playing. So essentially that will still be your baseline. But like to juggle them, you still focus on one character in a sense, but have a secondary, a third character. I mean, a third character, right? But then those characters, you basically only play them for the specific matchups. That's how you do it. So it doesn't take as much effort in general. So it's like you still have your main, which is your comfort character, and then you still have a couple characters that you want to cycle with. Then that's there, But to juggle them successfully, you also have to play them in a tournament if you're a tournament player.
Word.
So you have a stage time experience. So you can have all the experience in a role playing with your friends and a rank, whatever. But that's also the reason why you see pros don't play the characters that you see them play on stream a lot, or at home when they're streaming, right? Because that character still doesn't have any stage time. That's why when you see like a tier 2 tournament or tier 3 tournament that the pro that you like you see them playing at different characters because they're trying to get stage time with those characters first. So they can trust them to make the tough decisions later, That you're not just going to settle and compromise and go for like a safer choice when it's not the most optimal one just because you're not comfortable.
Yep.
But yeah.
One of my favorite ways of training, like, especially between two contrasting archetypes like Jamie and Dhalsim, or Akuma when I was playing him, or Bison, right, is like every ranked set, I would like alternate my character. So to try to recreate the feeling of being in a bracket where you're like, oh, I got to play this person and, and stuff like that. But then it also helps. It also helps when you have notes. Because then the notes do the thinking for you. All you have to do is just quickly glance your notes and say, oh, here are like 5 simple points of what I need to focus on if I'm playing Dhalsim versus like Zangief, or Dhalsim versus Ryu, right? And then have 5 notes for Jamie. So you should already know which characters you prefer to play, and then just have notes for them, so that way when you switch between them, you could quickly glance them. And you don't, again, it's that mental endurance that we talked about. You don't want to waste energy thinking about shit. You should get all of that done and out of your way through your training, and note taking is one of those ways, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, I like this one. What kind of skills will the best players in a given game have? Can those skills be learned? Like, you can answer this perfectly.
Which one is that?
That is the third question.
The best player in a given game have? Can those skills be learned? Well, skills in fighting games is like really similar with other pros in other fighting games too, right? Because like that's it. Like every fighting game, they have their own difficulty, but at the end of the day, the highest level is they're all difficult as fuck. But the skills there anybody can learn that. It's just like there's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of traits, right? Every pro is still working towards it. They're trying to play as close to perfect as we can. We work on our, let's say, just simplify it. We're working on our anti-airs, for instance, right? We're working on our matchup specifics. We're working at our whiff punishing, for instance. We're working on our general tempo, right? Or our strategy or approach. We're working on our, let's say, like range recognition, risk management, right? We're working all of this stuff, and then your situational awareness, we're working on that too as well. So like, and then now you're trying to also get comfortable executing that part too. So being like more comfortable with your muscle memory, executing all this stuff with also your memory. There's a lot of areas in the game that you can kind of like improve on. So that's why so many is too many to count. So that's the skill those skills that I mentioned, they're transferable. If you you play a different game, it also applies. But despite all of that, the most important skill is your mindset, your attitude.
Yep.
Nothing trumps that one. Doesn't matter if you're like the most talented motherfucker in the world, but if you actually have bad attitude, right, in general, or mindset, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. That's right. It's whatever. It doesn't
It's
matter.
like putting like a big ass anchor on a ship.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're not gonna go anywhere.
Number one thing that holds somebody back is that attitude. It's really that. I swear. Like how do you handle a loss? Like for instance, how positive you can take that after being emotional about it. That's like important. It's like you can get emotional for sure, but just always make sure you have a time limit on that one.
10 seconds. I borrowed that from you. 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10, 20 seconds. Yeah, for sure. But just make sure after that one, you got to snap back to reality and be like, yeah, he played it better than me, I guess. And then I think I remember everything that happened, so I'm going to work on that next time. Move on. Move the fuck on. But you're allowed for sure to get frustrated, to get emotional at that time, because that's why it drives you to play or practice, right? Because you're passionate about it.
You seen the Magnus Carlsen clip? You seen that clip?
Yes,
yeah, it's the same shit. Yeah, it's like, right? Like, it's okay to care, guys. It's okay.
Yeah.
But you see how
you're supposed to fucking have that emotional outburst for that. You're supposed to.
100%.
Yeah, you're supposed to. You fucking care. Right? You care. Of course, anything that you care about, if you got disappointed at that time, you're supposed to have some sort of emotional reaction out of it, right? But it's what you do after. What you do after it. Are you just gonna like cry in your fucking room after, right? So it's that attitude, number one.
And you see how like when he walked away and he came back, and it was kind of like that 10 seconds thing you talked about, and he gave him a pat on his back, but he was still pissed. It was
Pissed.
But that was such a human moment. Like that was so dope, and so many people didn't fucking understand that. They're like, the comments I was reading, I was like, damn, like how many people roam this earth not caring about shit?
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Like you're supposed to feel that way, but like mind you, when somebody gets pissed off like that, there's never to the person.
Right.
It's usually to himself, like a fuck, I can't believe that fucking happened. Like, but people would seem like, oh dude, he just disrespected this dude. Like I don't know. But at least the other guy, Gukesh, kind of knew about what's up. It wasn't about him, Yeah,
Gukesh was he's so empathetic, bro. He was like, oh my god, like, and then he's like, oh, is he okay? Like it was so funny, like like he didn't even get to really celebrate it because he was so like concerned of Magnus in that moment, And then what it reminds me of is kind of when like Punk beat Big Bird. Like Punk didn't really pop off because his friend, like he thought about his friend in that moment, and he's like, damn. And then it hit him. Like it was like,
him, and then he hugged him, congratulations, right?
Yeah.
Like that. But you can see Big Bird was disappointed at the start, but then congratulated his friend after, right?
Yeah.
That's how you process these things. Like but then I know people who be like pissed the fuck off to the fullest, brother, and without practice, and then get mad that they got bodied. I said, okay, you got pissed, you did not practice, and then you were mad that you get bodied. So now that cycles again. Piss even more. Not practice, get even more bodied. And now you say fuck everything. Like, I don't understand that.
Right.
I don't understand.
At least use it.
That's actually weird to me.
Yeah, at least use the fuel, bro. Like
you're pissed off, right? Okay, cool. Use it to fire to give you like the motivation to actually practice, right? Okay, but then but for some reason the loss still lingers forever. Not even 10 seconds, forever, brother. Yeah, so it's crazy.
Yeah, I think like like with anything, right? You have skills that are like directly tied to the craft. So like, like a artist is gonna have technique with their strokes and their hand positioning and pressure or whatever, right? A musician is gonna have hand placements on the guitar or whatever, right? In a fighting game, it's like execution. It's gonna be understanding of the engine, right? But then there's the stuff outside of it that really feeds that, and it's mindset. It's like Champ said, like that's the engine. If you don't have a strong
That's the
engine,
only
your
thing.
car's going nowhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Trust me. Like you could have no talent. If that dude's attitude is insane, that dude's 100% making it. Doesn't it's not even it doesn't even that's the only thing that matters is fucking their attitude, how they learn things, how they take losses, how much losses can they take. They should tilt too, by you, because they're human, right? But then after, what did they do after they recover from the tilt, right? You know, did they train again? What did they do? And they should take breaks too. Did they take breaks? Right? That's all part of that. It's all about the attitude. So if the person's attitude is fucking the worst or in question, then that's the only thing that's holding them back. Nothing else. It's not about their character. It's not about the other thing. It's just their attitude.
That's the only reason why I'm here, to be honest. It's like I don't think I'm talented. I think I just work extremely smart and extremely hard, and I'm fucking resilient. I've lost.
That's number one, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Attitude, baby.
I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't take every loss with grace, but I do get up. I've brushed myself off, and I keep fucking moving forward.
Keep going.
Yeah. There's like not many people, because there's not many people that could stick to something for a month, right? Like a month, 30 days of doing something that benefits them, right? Like going to the gym. And then there are the freaks that do something for 15 years like me, you know, and they keep getting up like it's day one every single day over and over again, you know.
To be like motivated too, like obviously that's like I actually think like that one is up there too, you know, being motivated to like find ways to kind of like get you going, you know, just to like you know, sometimes like, oh my god, I'm not so motivated to actually study today, or let alone like maybe play. I'm not motivated to be like, you know what, I need to kind of get myself going. And then I have to think about the times, like, when was the last time I fucking got pissed off? Yeah, that motherfucker talked some shit, right? Yeah, you know what? That motherfucker talked some shit. I'm gonna fuck him up. You know what? So then it gets me going, you know? It was like that. But I had to find something to kind of get me going. If it's not like that, if nobody talks shit, like, I feel like I'm not as motivated as that, you know?
Yeah.
But now that we have, like, new Marvel games, so kind of excited, more motivated than ever. Play a lot more Street Fighter in the meantime, well, before those games comes out, you know? Because like right now, let's say if I play fighting games, right? I'll probably play fighting games like maybe out of my 100%. Like let's say I probably play Street Fighter 6 maybe about 80%. You know, the other 20 I play other games maybe if that. But then when that other game comes out, I'm still gonna play Street Fighter 6 maybe like in a week, maybe like once or twice. But a lot of labbing across the board too. Yeah, for sure. Because I like Street Fighter 6, so I'm excited for that.
I was gonna say something to piggyback on what you said. Oh yeah, so like motivations change too, right? Like because at the onset of something, like when you're in the new stages, like, you know, everything's so like novel and there's just like all the freshness of shit. It's easy to be motivated because it's just so much vastness, right? But as you improve and then it becomes the perfume thing that you talked about, smelling your own perfume, right? You don't really have, you have to find out, you have to have self-awareness or cultivate it to figure out what works for you. Like Champ says, like, you know, that fucking competitive anger he has from losing to somebody drives him up a fucking wall, and then he gets up and does shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I need that. Yes, that's needed.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I don't like the fact I don't understand something. Like, I'm like, why the fuck did I don't even know why I lost here. That gets me so...
I hear that all the time from many pros that I talk to all the time. They would tell me, bro, I don't even know how I fucking lost to that shit. I said, huh? This is why you lost to that. Boom, 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 boom. But how come it's never obvious?
Because you're watching.
That was the most obvious thing. No, it's not that. Even when we rewatch it, the ones that really be talked about or be highlighted, it would be like, yeah, because I dropped this thing here. Oh, I just didn't do this here. It's something super linear. It wouldn't be like, no, your overall pacing is a bit crazier here. So that's why you would induce X action to your opponent. Imagine, look at this game here. When your pacing here is a bit like on the slower end, your opponent now will give you different, you know.
I have a theory. Why you can do this. Because you have so much experience from so many fucking different titles that you know how to win in so many different ways. So you don't have a bias to how you want to win. You just know the winning way. Whatever. I don't think there should be a bias to anything. But hear me out. So what I think is happening, is when somebody is like enamored, they're so fixated on fixing something, they're trying to fix it with the same filter that created the problems. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because they keep forcing to win in that way that they want to
Right.
win, right? Or they think that's the only way in that sense, right?
Right.
Yeah, because if you have to play a certain way, then you have to play a certain way, right? Regardless, whatever the fucking public says, oh, that's the incorrect way. No, the
Right.
goal of the tournament is to win the tournament, right? Not necessarily to play whatever the fucking whoever's come up with like this is the correct way to play this character,
Right.
you know? Yeah, that's like such a bad way to take on like that. Oh no, I'm supposed to play like this because I saw, this player play this way. Yeah, that player plays that way, but the reasoning why all his decisions are like that though.
Mm.
Like, do you know every reasoning? Because there's a reason why they're playing that way, you know?
Right.
It's never just like in the surface, like you just know that's how they would play. Right. They have other decision making, like, they have they could be like setting that up for a cash out on one situation too.
Mm.
But every player in general that has a way to play and they're unique, and I think you should embrace your uniqueness every time. But in fighting games, there's general rules and you still got to follow them. There's still like rules where like that's a stupid decision.
Right.
Yeah, there's still that. So as long as we avoid that, we Gucci.
Minimize mistakes, right?
There's gotta be a lot. Yeah, there's too many stupid decisions, right? And everybody is guilty about that, But then if you make them, just be aware that you made a stupid decision that you will fix next time.
Right. Agreed.
Yes.
Word. All right. And I like this question. This will be the last question we're gonna end the podcast on. Is how do you get so handsome? Honestly, I can't tell you. It is just absolute, just God-given talents.
I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Next question. That's it. We're done with the question.
No, that's the most important question. That's why we had to ask it, because I just can't tell you. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate.
Yeah. That's good.
All right.
I'm gonna go eat my dinner.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go play some Elena.
All right.
I'll see you guys later.
All right. I love you. Love you, champ.
Love you guys. Bye. Peace.
Fuck you. I think I was gonna end this podcast on a fucking positive note. Fuck you, FChamp. Fuck you. Fuck your shiny ass head. Your fucking round ass head. Your fucking stupid glasses. Your dumb black pitch fucking background that never fucking works properly. Your Oh wow, he left. I'm the one that usually leaves. This is how it feels.